Chapter 461. C-463 Changsheng Patriarch, once won 3 consecutive championships. If Lu Wangshu, the formation master, is the cornerstone of the entire immortal world, then Tong Wudi is the strongest pillar of the immortal world. The immortal world can be maintained until now, and this young immortal emperor is indispensable. Tong Wudi was very bored. Because during this period of time, the aliens from outside the territory did not launch an attack all at once, but chose to wait for opportunities to move. Moreover, he also received an order from Lu Wangshu not to go out to cause trouble without authorization. In this way, Tong Wudi had no choice but to stay in the immortal court. He was bored and wanted to find someone to discuss with others to relieve his boredom. As a result, the other immortal emperors were very scared and found excuses to avoid him. After all, Tong Wudi's strength is at the absolute ceiling level among the immortal emperors. If they fight alone, they will only be completely tortured. Only a fool would be a sparring partner. The title of undefeated immortal emperor is widely recognized. At this moment, Tong Wudi, who has a young mind, felt very uncomfortable being bored in the room. Suddenly, he thought of something and his eyes lit up. I heard that the Supreme Secret Realm is about to open. This is a secret realm designed by that guy old Lu. The trial must be very interesting. I happen to be idle and bored, so I might as well go play. Although the Supreme Secret Realm is restricted to those who are above the level of Immortal Emperor, Tong Wudi is different. He is a great immortal official of the Immortal Court, and his status is equal to that of Lu Wangshu, who founded the Supreme Secret Realm. Simply put, he has the power to tamper with permissions. As long as you are careful enough, no one will know. As for the final reward, let it be given to other trialists. The main thing is participation. Isn't that too much? Tong Wudi rubbed his chin, his eyes bright. Just do it. Tong Wudi took out a jade seal surrounded by immortal light and with a sacred breath. This jade seal is one of the highest powers in the immortal court and can be used to change the restrictions of the Supreme Secret Realm. Immersed in his mind, Tong Wudi's consciousness connected to the Supreme Secret Realm and began to quickly modify the settings. He can't wait to kill everyone in the Supreme Secret Realm and reach the highest supreme level. Tremble, this will be my solo show, Tong Wudi. Shortly after this incident, a violent shaking sound suddenly came from the Yellow Maple Valley. Rumble. In the deepest part of the valley, a thick pillar of colorful light burst out and shot straight into the sky. In the sky, the entrance to the secret realm appeared, a huge colorful vortex full of dreamy colors. The Supreme Secret Realm is open. Rush. The Wuyongyang monk rushed forward excitedly, wanting to rush into the entrance as soon as possible. Unexpectedly, a hazy light curtain blocked them from 100 feet away from the whirlpool, preventing them from entering at all. What's going on? Why can't I get in? Countless people said in panic. At this time, a male monk entered very smoothly. He said ecstatically inside the light curtain, "Ha ha ha, I'm in. I'm in." Immediately afterwards, he rushed into the colorful vortex and officially entered the Supreme Secret Realm. Damn it, what the hell is this? A man dressed as a scholar said in shock. I understand. The reason why we didn't go in is because we were screened out by the Supreme Secret Realm, which means we are not qualified. No, then we can only be spectators outside. Hey, now that the matter is over, there is still a second way to go. Dare to ask my friend, which way? Go home, quote quote. After learning that they had been screened out and had no hope of entering the secret realm, all of them were dejected and very uncomfortable. They came all the way but couldn't even get through the entrance. Especially those monks who were brutally slaughtered by the black merchants in charge of the teleportation array in order to catch up with this opportunity. They were all on the verge of tears and their hearts were broken. If I had known earlier, I might as well not have come. Fate plays tricks on people like this. What's yours is yours, what's not yours is yours, and if you try your best to chase it, you have no hope of getting it. Haha, I'm in. Hey, me too, thank God for blessing, it turns out that I am a very lucky person. During this period, men and women who passed through the light curtain cried with joy from time to time and rushed into the entrance with excited expressions. All the monks were envious and jealous. Let's go. Yi Junlin showed strong interest. I really want to know what it's like inside. I heard it's very interesting. Luo Qingwu said with a smile. Immediately, the 5 people rushed into the light curtain without any suspense, heading towards the colorful vortex and entering the secret realm. The number of people entering has skyrocketed, and the number of places is getting smaller and smaller. The Supreme Secret Realm only allows 1,000 trialists, and they can enter as long as they meet its requirements. But the number of people present was as vast as the sea, equivalent to thousands of troops crossing a single plank bridge. At this time, a middle-aged figure surrounded by a green light that could not be seen clearly flew into the light curtain and paused for a long time in front of the colorful vortex. He has a clear face, long hair draped behind his shoulders, and an indifferent temperament all over his body. He is just like the immortal ancestor of the eternal immortal sect. The immortal ancestor sighed leisurely. If I reach the supreme level again this time, and I am lucky enough to draw an immortal Lord Tao fruit, I will be able to cultivate millions more immortal Lord laws. In fact, there is an unwritten rule in the supreme secret realm. The same person can only have 4 opportunities to enter, and each time, there must be an interval of 20 million years before it can be triggered again. In these long eons of time, the immortal ancestor has participated 3 times, and each time he led the team to reach the supreme level. A veritable 3 consecutive championships. Moreover, the first 3 times allowed the ancestor of immortality to obtain 3 immortal Lord Tao fruits. This enabled him to break through his own shackles repeatedly. Not only his cultivation level had a breakthrough, but also the number of laws had increased dramatically. On the surface, the Changsheng Patriarch was only at the 5th level of the immortal venerable heaven, and the number of laws he mastered was 13 million. In the immortal venerable realm of the Qingtian Great Domain, he barely belonged to the middle position. But behind the scenes, the Changsheng Patriarch's cultivation level had long been the 8th level of the immortal venerable heaven, and the number of laws he mastered was already 29 million. You know, the one standing at the top of the upper reaches of the Qingtian Great Domain, that is, the Patriarch of Shujun Temple, was only at the 7th level of the immortal venerable heaven, and the number of laws he mastered was only 25 million. In these long years, the Changsheng Patriarch has been developing silently. If Luo Qingwu hadn't made trouble, he would have come out to clean up his ass. In normal times, he was very low-key in everyone's eyes. His life purpose was not to cause trouble, but he was not afraid of trouble. In the first 3 times, the Changsheng Patriarch had successfully won the first place and reaped the highest dividends of the supreme secret realm. After 20 million years, he secretly came to participate in this trial again with anticipation and excitement, just to achieve the 4th championship and another chance to get an immortal fruit. Relying on this immortal fruit, although the effect will be weaker as time goes by, Changsheng Laozu is confident that he can cultivate millions of laws and achieve the most perfect 30 million immortal laws. By then, he will be promoted to the immortal emperor and be the best. In order to achieve this grand goal, he has been patiently working silently for so many years. Finally, he waited until the seas dried up and the rocks crumbled, and waited for this final opportunity to enter. Changsheng Laozu's eyes were as deep as the sea, and there was a firm belief between his eyebrows. In this chess game, he didn't want to be a marginal figure anymore. He wanted to become an immortal emperor, or the best one, so that he would be qualified to enter the center of the chessboard, or even become the chess player. This is what Changsheng Laozu most desires in his heart. As long as I take this opportunity, everything is possible. As his thoughts turned, he decisively flashed into the vortex. At this moment, what no one knew was that a former 3-time champion had entered the supreme secret realm. Warm tips: if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter report error, or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 462. C464 Pull me to lead the team. After a stick of incense was burned, all the places to enter the secret realm were gone. Countless monks who were turned away looked at the closed entrance with sad expressions on their faces. They beat their chests and felt regretful. Within the supreme secret realm, when 1,000 trialists opened their eyes again, they found themselves in a 3-dimensional square space, with bright red numbers on each panel showing a countdown. Under their feet were circles of different colors. It is worth mentioning, everyone's body looks blurry. That's because their respective consciousness has established a connection with the virtual space of the secret realm. To put it simply, from the moment you enter the secret realm, everything that appears is unreal. No, what's going on now? Can anyone come out and tell me? A monk asked in surprise. Everyone, according to what has been passed down, we are currently in preparatory matching mode. If you are the initiator of the team, as long as anyone agrees to team up with you, the halo under your feet will become the same color as you. A middle-aged man who knew about it in advance said in a deep voice. But what if I still haven't found my teammates? Another woman asked curiously. Don't worry, when the time is up, the secret realm will randomly assign a team to you and forcibly gather a team of 5 people. The middle-aged man explained. Hear the words. Everyone understood and quickly searched for new teammates on the spot. Although many of them had partners at the beginning, they were basically blocked by the light curtain when they came in, so now they can only find suitable teammates again. Suddenly, there was a lot of noise, like a market. Choose me, choose me. The little girl has a sweet voice and will cheer for the big brother. I pay attention to teamwork and come with a stable mood. Please let me fly, boss. I kneel down and thank you. Seeing this scene, Yi Junlin felt that he had seen it before, and said with a strange expression, "Isn't this the matching hall before the game starts?" "Senior Yi, you can be the initiator of the team," Lord Kanglang suggested. "Yes, let's hurry up and form a team," Luo Qingwu said. "Okay." Yi Junlin readily agreed and initiated team invitations. After Kanglangjun and the others agreed, the aperture under their feet turned into the same color, forming a blue light screen around them, which marked that they were a team and no one could intervene during this period. Other side, the ancestor of longevity joined a temporary team in a very low-key manner. Because his figure was relatively vague, no one recognized him. If the monks in the team knew that he was the ancestor of the eternal immortal sect, they would definitely be shocked. Not far away, an imposing young man put his hands behind his back and looked around with interest. Interesting, really interesting. This person is Tong Wudi. What is special is that he did not enter the Supreme Secret Realm in person, but used the Jade Seal to open the permission to remotely connect to his consciousness. As for the real body, he is still waiting in the immortal courtyard. Ahem, if you want to form a team, come here, I can easily help you lie down. Tong Wudi pretended to cough a few times and said confidently. As a result, no one passing by paid him any attention. The main reason is that Tong Wudi's age seems too young, and this is a virtual world of consciousness, and there is no difference in cultivation. Everyone relies more on words and eye contact to find teammates. Tong Wudi's face was filled with astonishment. He never expected that no one would pay attention to him. This feeling of being ignored has never been experienced before, and the psychological gap can be imagined. As the countdown entered the last 10 seconds, Tong Wudi felt that he could no longer hold back his face and shouted. As long as I am here, you will never lose. If you believe me, please pull me. Dee. Suddenly, a green bubble signal appeared above the head, which was a sign of invitation to form a team. Tong Wudi turned around and saw several vague figures of men and women on the opposite side, talking to each other. Immortal, do we really want to invite him? He doesn't look very reliable. Haha, do we have any other choice? Since he is so confident, let's give him a hand and see how he performs. The one who spoke was surprisingly Bao Nishuang, who had been humiliated by Luo Qingwu before. But don't underestimate her. Although she is not on the same level as Luo Qingwu, she is still considered a proud daughter of the younger generation. She is also a descendant of the Supreme Elder of Shu Zhenguan, and her background is really tough. Bao Nishuang, who had been humiliated previously, felt aggrieved and unwilling to go back to the original route to try her luck. Unexpectedly, she actually entered the secret realm. Seeing that Tong Wudi was so confident now, she thought that if the battle didn't go as planned, she could take out her grievances on him. It's coming, it's coming. Tong Wudi was very excited and hurriedly ran to the same aperture. Everyone, you have made the most correct choice. Just watch how I show off my skills next time. I guarantee you will fly. Tong Wudi patted his chest and bowed. Not big in stature, but not small in tone, Bao Nishuang said secretly. She folded her arms, looked at Tong Wudi sideways and said, remember, this is what you said. Then, the countdown ends. The secret realm begins to enter the next stage. Everyone suddenly felt their eyes darken, as if they had fallen into boundless darkness. Suddenly, a majestic and cold voice sounded in their minds, echoing like a bell. Listen up, all trialists, we will enter the random matching phase next. Choose the character you want to use. You cannot change it after entering the duel. Once the duel fails, all members of the losing team will be eliminated. The winning team can advance to the next round. As soon as the voice fell, a bright light suddenly appeared on the screen in front of him, and then an extremely realistic simulation interface appeared in front of him. There were densely packed character patterns on it, and each person's image was vivid and lifelike, as if they really existed, and they all had detailed background and talent introductions. Yi Junlin took a rough look and found that the positioning was roughly warrior, tank, archer, mage, assistant, etc. In the upper right corner, there are 4 speaker icons, corresponding to the other 4 teammates, so that they can communicate during the match. Tang Yao Yao. Wow, there are so many characters. I don't know which one to choose, just choose the one I like the most. Kanglang Jun. Should we pay attention to the lineup? This will make it more reliable. Luo Qingwu. I don't care, I want to choose the one with the best figure, so I decided to choose this woman. There are 9 fox tails behind her buttocks, so sexy. Da Mushroom King. Then I will choose a healing character to help you recover from your injuries. Among the characters, Yi Junlin found the one that suited his eyes the most. Shen Zhanxin. His identity is a sword cultivator, good at powerful sword moves, high burst, and low vitality. Yi Junlin chuckled and said, it's fragile, but it doesn't matter. Then, he chose this character. The character can pinch the face and change the hair color. Out of some kind of spoof habit, he directly pinched the originally handsome and charming face into a mean and beating look, and made the hair into a colorful killing mat. At this moment, the handsome Shen Zhanxin disappeared, replaced by a man with a sword in his arms, a killer hairstyle, and a mean expression, exuding a hateful aura all the time. Such a magical modification, the shape is very shocking. He just stood still, and the taunt value can be instantly maxed out. After clicking to confirm, a line of red font appeared in front of Yi Junlin. Please enter the alias. Once entered, it cannot be changed. Game name. Right, I understand. Yi Junlin thought of the 3rd level trial on the Immortal Island before, and skillfully wrote a line of familiar names on the naming box. Invincible and lonely. Not long. The majestic voice belonging to the secret realm sounded again, matching successful. Start entering the map. Countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Shua. Accompanied by a flash of golden light. Yi Junlin only felt that the picture in front of him was very blurry, and his whole body became particularly relaxed, as if a mortal had become immortal. Then, there was a strong feeling of weightlessness. When he felt himself falling to the ground, Yi Junlin raised his head and looked quickly. The clear scene in front of him stunned him. This is Chapter 463. C465 I Play Jungle. Yi Junlin found that he was standing on an ancient altar, above which was suspended a bright energy ball, which shed endless sacred light, and seemed to contain some kind of healing breath. Opposite him was a huge hand made of special materials, holding a red crystal as bright as a star. In front of him, 3 towering tower-like statues stood separately, with countless mysterious array runes engraved on their surfaces. As long as the enemy approached a certain range, they would release energy rays to attack. If you go further forward, there will be a layer of hazy white mist covering it, and you can't see the reality clearly, but you think the terrain will be very vast. I have become a character. Tang Yaoyao said in surprise. At this time, she looked pure and cute, with pointed ears like an elf, feathers on her head, a petite body, white and smooth skin, wearing a short skirt woven from green leaves and flowers, and a pair of transparent crystal wings on her back. In his hand, he held a small and exquisite bow and arrow. The bow was silvery and shiny, smooth as a mirror. The whole person was like a immortal in an immortal tale world, full of lively and lovely spirit. There was a line of eye-catching words on his head. I am super fierce. Haha, I feel like I am back to my youth. Kanglang Jun was very excited. He looked like a handsome young scholar wearing a turban, holding a sage book in his hand. I have changed too. Next to him was an old man wearing a golden robe, with a white beard hanging on his chest, looking amiable, holding a staff inlaid with emeralds. Little black Taoist, I didn't expect the character you chose to be so old. Tang Yaoyao joked. The big mushroom king scratched his head, looking embarrassed, because this old man looks very kind, and he is also good at treatment. I am very satisfied. Hey, what do you think of me? Am I good looking? Luo Qingwu twisted her waist and hips, showing off. The long silver white hair like a waterfall was scattered behind her. She had a charming oval face, iconic fox eyes, a high nose, tender red lips, skin as white as cream, a curvy figure, and 9 snow-white fox tails behind her buttocks. Master, what a good name you have, Tang Yaoyao said with a strange look when she saw the line of words on Luo Qingwu's head. She was actually called the most beautiful woman in the immortal world. She is really shameless. What, do you have any opinions about your master? Luo Qingwu pinched Tang Yaoyao's face, and her tone was meaningful. No. Fearing his power, Tang Yaoyao quickly shook her head to deny it. Humph, sister is the queen, confident and shining. Luo Qingwu put her hands on her waist, very proud, and suddenly caught a glimpse of Yi Junlin's shocking look from the corner of her eyes, and was stunned. You. Don't panic, it's me. Yi Junlin smiled. At this time, he had a shamad look on his head, his expression was mean, and even his smile was a standard crooked smile. Especially the 5 words, invincible and lonely, on the top of his head, which made people's fists stiff, and they wanted to rush over and punch him hard. Shen Jianxin is such a handsome character, and he can be changed into this. Senior Yi is really a genius. Kanglang Jun gave a thumbs up and praised him without thinking, not minding the contemptuous eyes of others. My aesthetics have always been at the forefront of the times, Yi Junlin said seriously. Hearing this, Kanglang Jun's mouth twitched a few times, and he smiled awkwardly, yes, yes, yes. At this moment, a grand prompt sound suddenly sounded in everyone's mind. Welcome to the Supreme Canyon. Closing square bracket. Then, a series of new information emerged, allowing Yi Junlin and others to understand the story background of this place. In this mysterious canyon independent of the outside world, there live 2 powerful tribes that master the power of elements, namely the Water Tribe and the Fire Tribe. The relationship between the 2 tribes is incompatible with each other, and conflicts and frictions have occurred all year round. This time, the high priests of the 2 tribes paid a painful price and each summoned 5 practitioners from the outside world to assist their tribes in fighting and breaking the enemy's energy crystal. Yi Junlin suddenly felt something in his arms. He took it out and found that it was a parchment scroll. He opened it and found that it was a detailed map of the Supreme Canyon. Beyond the highlands is a vast and endless jungle, with detailed markings of the origins and locations of the beasts. There is a flowing river in the middle, and each road is guarded by 2 statues, which are divided into 3 roads, upper, middle and lower. What they have to do is to cross layers of obstacles and smash the enemy's energy crystal to win. Look, the Fire Clan is coming out. Tang Yaoyao pointed his finger in surprise. Hualala, I saw a mysterious light rippling inside the red crystal, and 3 neat teams came out in a line. Each Fire Tribe warrior was burning with red flames, his skin was as red as a branding iron, holding a sharp bronze spear, marching forward in a heroic formation, going along 3 roads respectively. Fountain, crystal, high ground, wild area, soldiers, heroes, wow, all the elements are complete. Yi Junlin exclaimed. Suddenly, a prompt sound rang in his mind again, the battle begins, break the enemy crystal to win. Senior Yi, where should I go? Kanglang Jun asked hurriedly. Yi Junlin looked up and down, you go to the middle road. What about me? Tang Yaoyao raised her little hand. You go to the bottom road, let Xiaohei assist you. Yi Junlin said. Dao Yu Xiaohei, please, Tang Yaoyao said to the big Mushroom King. Well, I will follow you closely. The great Mushroom King said seriously. Fellow Taoist Yi, if you make this assignment, don't you want to go to the top lane with me? Luo Qingwu threw a coquettish eye and said ambiguously, do you want to have something happen with me? Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to the top lane. Then you want to? Luo Qingwu was very confused. You don't want to go to any of the 3 lanes. Do you want to stay on the high ground and watch the show? In response, Yi Junlin showed a meaningful smile. I'm going to the jungle. Go to the jungle. Everyone was stunned, and then reacted. It turned out that this meant entering the endless jungle to hunt beasts. Don't waste time, let's go. Yi Junlin gave an order. Then, everyone acted separately and headed for the destination. Yi Junlin followed the map mark and came to a place in the jungle. From a distance, a huge white wolf was lying on the ground to rest. Its hair was silver white. When it sensed someone appearing, its eyes suddenly opened, filled with bloodthirsty fierceness. Awoo! The white wolf stood up, its claws like steel, its muscles tensed, and it roared at Yi Junlin in protest. The strange thing is that it seemed that as long as Yi Junlin did not actively attack, it would not leave its position. Silver Moon Wolf. In front of Yi Junlin, a line of information about the beast appeared, and its level was 2nd level. It is worth mentioning that each initial character can be upgraded. Excluding passive moves, there are a total of 4 active moves, and the maximum level is 12. Every level up can unlock new moves, and each upgrade can draw a round of talent cards, from low to high, respectively, low grade, medium grade, high grade, and top grade. There are only 2 ways to upgrade, killing wild monsters and enemies. At this moment, Yi Junlin's level is 1st level, and he can only use 1 active move. Sword Edge Dawn. Yi Junlin drew out his long sword and slashed a sharp white sword energy at the Silver Moon Wolf, and the sword energy hissed in the air. Awoo! The Silver Moon Wolf was attacked, and a hideous blood mark appeared on its body. It was furious and rushed directly to Yi Junlin. The passive move of Shen Jianxin is called Sword Heart Resonance. Every time you attack a target, you can cover a layer of sword intent on the sword body. The more the number, the higher the damage. If you leave the attack, the sword intent will decrease until it disappears. I can use this to suppress this Silver Moon Wolf. In an instant, Yi Junlin and the Silver Moon Wolf started a fierce battle. With passive moves and sensitive reactions, he greatly made up for the disadvantage of level. Soon, the Silver Moon Wolf suffered more and more injuries, and finally fell to the ground, turning into wisps of milky white light, sinking into Yi Junlin's body. Buzz buzz buzz. Yi Junlin felt warm all over and felt particularly comfortable. His level went from level 1 to level 2, and he also unlocked the second active move. But more importantly, he was eligible to draw a round of talent cards. Swish! 5 talent cards were arranged in front of him, representing talents of different grades. The effects and functions of talents of different grades are also very different. See how lucky I am. Yi Junlin decisively selected a talent card, and the talent card was immediately turned over to reveal the level and content introduction on it. Strangely, the level was marked with the dark gold word, Super Quality. Super Quality. Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. According to the setting information given at the beginning of the game, the highest talent card is the best quality. What is this super quality? Could it be something above the best quality? Let me see, what is written on it. After reading it, Yi Junlin was dumbfounded. All attacks increase damage by 200 times. Not only his moves, but also his ordinary attacks can be affected by this effect. What is the concept? Assuming his attack value is 1,000, 200 times is 200,000. And as his level increases, the span of this value will become larger and larger, far surpassing others. Take off directly. Yi Junlin suddenly remembered that when he participated in the trial of the Fallen Immortal Island, there was a similar situation. In this case, his luck against the sky is his biggest advantage in this game. Swish! The first talent card disappeared. A golden light appeared under Yi Junlin's feet, and some incredible changes began to appear on his body. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound in the bushes nearby, as if something was groping all the way over. Huh! Yi Junlin was startled, revealing an intriguing smile. Is this going to rebel against my wildness? Warm reminder. If you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error, or contact us at the bottom to let us know. We will deal with it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding. Chapter 464. C466 Double Kill in the Jungle. At this time, a creature with a rat head and a human body, covered in a black robe, came tiptoeing with a crossbow in hand, 2 green eyes showing cunning. Behind it, there was a big guy holding a huge shield, wearing black heavy armor, with a body as burly as an iron tower and 2 bullhorns on his head. Brother Zhao, are you sure this tactic will work? The big guy asked in a muffled voice. The creature with a rat head and a human body said confidently. Believe me, my ancestor once participated in the Supreme Secret Realm and finally stopped in the 5th round. According to him, after the duel begins, it is best to invade the enemy's wild area and occupy the wild area resources in advance so that the level will be increased faster. Looking for opportunities to hunt down the trialists in 3 lanes, as long as you establish a good advantage in the early stage, then the whole game will basically be stable. Zhao Haoyan said proudly, this is all talk of experience, we novices just do it. Why do you have to pick me? The big guy asked curiously. Hehe, the reason why I want you to follow me is because the character you chose has extremely high defense. With you blocking in front, I can output as much as I want. Our combination is so powerful that we can not only quickly occupy the enemy's wild area, but also suppress and kill the lone enemy. It's perfect, Zhao Haoyan sneered, with this high-end play, I don't believe that the stupid hats on the opposite side can stop it. As they went deeper, the scene in front of them stunned them. A young man with a shamat hairstyle and silver-white clothes stood sideways with a sword in one hand. He looked mean, his eyes were squinting, and he had an indescribable unique temperament. Damn, what the hell? The big guy exclaimed. Hiss, this is the sword cultivator Shen Jianxin, and he has changed into this. Outrageous. Zhao Haoyan took a breath of cold air. Are you two here to give me heads? Yi Junlin said meaningfully. Hearing this, Zhao Haoyan laughed in anger. What a joke, we are at the same level, and you are injured, you can tell who will win with your toes. That's right, the name is Invincible, how lonely, you are invincible. Who can you beat now? The big guy sneered. It's no wonder they have this idea, because they are more efficient in cooperating with the jungle, so they were also at the 2nd level before coming, and they were in good condition, so they looked down on the injured Yi Junlin. Then let's try it. Yi Junlin smiled playfully, turned his wrist, and was about to perform the second active move. You dare to be so arrogant with low health, I will teach you to face the reality. Zhao Haoyan raised the crossbow and shot out a green arrow with poison. Sword Dance Phantom. Yi Junlin turned his wrist and performed swordsmanship, his body turned into a blurry phantom, and he easily avoided the poisonous arrow. You know, he is a fragile skin, and he is still low health. If he is hit by this arrow, he will definitely die on the spot. However, with the new move of Sword Dance Phantom, not only can the speed and dodge rate be increased, but also multiple phantoms can be created to confuse the target. I shoot, I shoot, I shoot. Zhao Haoyan kept shooting arrows at Yi Junlin, and even used one or two moves. Damn, why can't I shoot accurately? Zhao Haoyan was very frustrated. He found that no matter how he aimed, he couldn't hit the opponent. It looked like a real body, but it was actually all phantoms. Hee, it's my turn. Yi Junlin approached quickly, murderous. Dao Yu, stop him for me. Zhao Haoyan said anxiously. Leave it to me. The big guy stomped his feet, and the ground shook violently a few times. The shield emerged with a thick brown light, forming a huge energy barrier to block Yi Junlin out. If it were an ordinary character, it would take at least a long time to barely break it, but Yi Junlin was different. With a damage increase of 200 times, the power of each of his swords is ridiculously high, far beyond the level of this level. Chilala, the sword shadows fell on the huge energy barrier layer by layer. Bang! In an instant, the energy barrier was broken. The big guy was stunned. How could it be? Then, Yi Junlin chopped at his huge body with the long sword in his hand. Just two ordinary flat attacks, the big guy seemed to be hit hard, and the blood bar on his head quickly cleared. Ah! The big guy fell to the ground with a bang, with an unbelievable look, and his body turned into countless light spots and dissipated in the air. Fuck! Zhao Haoyan, who witnessed it with his own eyes, was so scared that his hair exploded all over his body, and his face was full of shock. No, what's going on? The bull-headed leader is the one with the strongest physical defense among all the characters. The attack power is very poor, but the defense power is absolutely full. How could such a character be killed by two normal attacks? Is Shen Jianxin this strong? Why not give him a nerf? Run! Zhao Haoyan was so scared that he turned around and ran away. Sword Edge breaks dawn. Yi Junlin slashed out a white sword energy. Unlike at the beginning, this white sword energy was no longer like shrimp thread, but as wide as a thumb, tearing through the void along the way, making a hissing sound. No! Zhao Haoyan shouted in fear when he noticed the terrifying sword energy coming from behind. Puff! A stream of blood sprayed out of the body, and it was split into two pieces. The two bloody corpse petals fell to the ground, turning into countless light spots and dissipating in the air. One sword kill. Yi Junlin smiled and said, this is called counterattack with residual blood. Congratulations to Invincible and Lonely for completing the double kill. Close black lens bracket. At this moment, a reminder sounded in everyone's mind. Suddenly, both camps exploded. The speaker icon in the upper right corner is vibrating violently. Kanglang Jun. Senior Yi is so awesome, he got 2 heads so quickly. Tang Yao Yao. Wow, that's amazing. Luo Qingwu. Okay, I have this level. I'm still fighting with the guy across from me. Big Mushroom King. So strong. Obviously, Yi Junlin's double kill in the jungle shocked 4 teammates. On the other hand, on the blue side, there was constant yelling. Fuck, what's going on with you two idiots? Did you give it away on purpose? Will you lose 2 against 1? Where are your brains? Bah, shame on you. You guys make me feel sick. The other 3 teammates scolded Zhao Haoyan and the others bloody. The 2 people who were resurrected on the altar looked sad and angry. It's unfair. The damage done by Shen Jianxin on the opposite side was too high. Even the bull-headed leader was killed by his 2 swords. Zhao Haoyan said aggrievedly. What the hell are you doing? The defense of the bull-headed leader is so strong that even a high-explosion magician like me would have to fight for a long time to kill him. How can Shen Jianxin do this? In the team, Wang Gang, the lightning spell cultivator with the highest damage, roared angrily. On the middle road where he was, 2 groups of people from the Fire Tribe and the Water Tribe were fighting each other. Opposite him was Lord Kanglang, who was holding a sage book and looking like a scholar. Seeing the opponent's furious look, Kanglang Jun took the opportunity to suppress his mentality. Why don't you stop guarding the tower and let me push all the way? It will be easier. Wang Gang, who was originally angry, became furious when he heard these words. Go away, go and daydream. Didn't your teammates just get 2 kills? Do you really think you're going to win this game? Let me tell you, the fun has just begun. At this moment, he never expected that their team would be tortured to pieces. Even when he thought about it after many years, he still felt a sense of fear of being dominated. Chapter 465. C-467 Over the Tower to Kill. After taking down 2 heads, Yi Junlin killed dozens of ferocious beasts with great efficiency, and his level quickly reached the 7th level. Reaching this level means that all active moves are unlocked. Similarly, Yi Junlin also got 5 more opportunities to select talent cards. Without exception, they are all super-grade talent cards. For example, the critical hit rate is increased by 100%, the own movement speed is increased by 15 times, each basic attack will have a 40% blood-sucking effect, etc. At this moment, Yi Junlin felt that he was terrifyingly strong and did not want to continue killing monsters. He began to set his sights on the nearest top road. Haha, grab someone for fun. His figure was as fast as the wind, traveling through the vast jungle. Luo Qingwu, who was on the road, was having a conflict with her opponent. Vixen, take your life. A tall and majestic man wearing red dragon scale armor, holding a dark spear in both hands, attacked as fast as rain. Chi, the tip of the gun spits out jet black light, and every time it cuts through the void, there is a sharp sound of breaking wind. You're not full, are you? Try harder. I don't feel anything at all. Luo Qingwu used her body skills to dodge flexibly while speaking provocatively. Hearing this, Liang Chaofeng, a man, felt very annoyed. He swung his spear a few times and then stabbed it out, roaring. Stop being so proud, let's see how I can kill you alone. A low dragon roar sounded. The jet black spear glowed brightly, turning into a majestic black dragon head, opening its bloody mouth, full of evil energy. Now, Luo Qingwu took the opportunity to use her unique charming moves to control the menacing Liang Chaofeng. Liang Chaofeng's ultimate move was directly interrupted, his eyes glowed with pink hearts, and he smiled infatuatedly. The next moment, he came to his senses, his face changed drastically and he lost his voice. No, I fell into a trap. After deceiving the opponent's ultimate move, Luo Qingwu seized the opportunity and started a wave of backhand attacks. Swish swish, more than a dozen luminous pearl-like energy balls, containing terrifying power, smashed towards Liang Chaofeng. Boom, a large cloud of black smoke rose. Liang Chaofeng vomited blood, his body was covered with scars, and there were wisps of burning smoke, and he gritted his teeth and pulled away. Fortunately, one of the talent skill cards he chose increased magic resistance, otherwise his injuries from the previous wave of attacks would have been even more serious. Seeing that the opponent wanted to retreat into the tower, Luo Qingwu quickly pursued the victory. Liang Chaofeng did not dare to fight and ran away desperately. With the help of more than a dozen water tribe warriors, he successfully hid within the range of the tower-like statue. Damn it, you all will die. Luo Qingwu was very angry, feeling that the cooked duck just flew away, so she immediately spread her anger on the water tribe warriors who were responsible for covering. More than a dozen water tribe warriors were killed one after another, fell to the ground, and dissipated into points of light. Luo Qingwu stood at the edge of the enemy's defense tower, staring at Yan Zifeng with an ugly expression. Liang Chaofeng, who managed to escape, breathed a sigh of relief and shouted with a proud look on his face, "What are you looking at? Come in and hit me if you dare. You're looking for death." Luo Qingwu made a secret with one hand and fired a powerful energy bomb. Hey, I can't hit you. Liang Chaofeng ducked and hid behind the tower. Bang, the vitality bullet hit the statue without any impact. Because according to the rules, each character must use normal attacks to cause damage to the defense tower. Liang Chaofeng sneered. I'm standing here, what can you do to me? He knew very well that Luo Qingwu did not dare to cross the tower to kill, so he felt confident. After all, any energy beam released by the statue could cause Luo Qingwu to lose 40% of her health. As long as he cannot be defeated in a short period of time, the other party will definitely die. You bitch, you're so cowardly. Luo Qingwu said angrily. She really didn't dare to cross the tower by herself. If she wasn't completely sure, she would be the one who was killed under the tower. Hey, we have the elixir. Liang Chaofeng saw a colorful lotus blooming slowly behind the statue, and a delicate and smooth elixir appeared, with a fragrant fragrance. As soon as the time is up, this elixir will automatically refresh and can be swallowed to restore one's own injuries. Liang Chaofeng quickly swallowed the elixir and sat cross-legged to refine the elixir. The injuries all over his body immediately improved a lot, and his face gradually became rosy. Haha, I fell into your trap just now. I will make sure you look good in the next round. Liang Chaofeng sneered. He was waiting for the next wave of troops to arrive and started a battle with the opponent. Come on, I'm waiting. Luo Qingwu said. That being said, she knew that for a while, there was really nothing she could do about Liang Chaofeng. Just as Luo Qingwu retreated helplessly, a figure in brocade clothes rushed out of the river as fast as the wind, holding a long sword and heading straight for the enemy's defense tower. Fellow Taoist Yi, why are you? Luo Qingwu was stunned. Yi Junlin held his sword with great force, as if he wanted to kill Liang Chaofeng who was hiding under the tower. Liang Chaofeng, who was standing under the tower and his condition had improved, was stunned when he saw Yi Junlin suddenly appeared. In his eyes, there was a man with a killer haircut and a mean face, charging towards him at an incredible speed with a long sword in his hand. It's you. Liang Chaofeng saw the line of names above the opponent's head and recognized that this person was the guy who killed two of his teammates not long ago. But what surprised him the most was that the level displayed by the other party was actually level 7. You know, he has only managed to reach the 4th level now. Isn't it just 2 more heads? Why is the level difference so big? Die. Yi Junlin rushed into the defense tower and swung his sword to kill. HMPH, even if you are at a higher level, it's not that easy to kill me under the tower. Liang Chaofeng was shocked and angry, and decided to fight to the death, thinking that the worst result would be nothing more than death together. Really, who knew that a terrifying white sword energy appeared, pressing down on Liang Chaofeng like a huge wave. Fuck, Liang Chaofeng's scalp was numb, and his face was full of disbelief. Boom, a terrible crack appeared on the ground, and hot smoke came out. Liang Chaofeng, on the other hand, had already been reduced to ashes. Buzz buzz buzz. At the same time, sensing that an enemy had entered the range, the tower-shaped statue instantly glowed, and a beam of energy was about to shoot out. But Yi Junlin's speed was too fast. After crossing the tower and killing Liang Chaofeng in seconds, he withdrew at a ghostly speed. Sensing that the target disappeared and could not be selected, the light of the tower-shaped statue dimmed rapidly. This scene made Luo Qingwu, who wanted to support, stand there in shock. What happened? Is it over? Luo Qingwu was shocked that Yi Junlin entered the tower and killed Liang Chaofeng in one sword. In her opinion, it would take at least a few moves to take him down, and it was impossible to retreat without injury. As a result, Yi Junlin not only killed the target, but also retreated in a very chic manner. The whole process took less than a breath. The speed was amazing. Window. _tabula equals window. _tabula. Push mode. Thumb speed 01. Container. Tabula below article thumbnail. 300 times 250 feet. Placement. Below article thumbnail 300 times 250 feet. Target _type. Mix. Chapter 466. C468 I have a sword. Fellow Taoist Yi, your character is too powerful, isn't it? Luo Qingwu said enviously. If she had known Shen Jianxin was so strong, she would have chosen him to play with, but unfortunately, once a character is chosen, it cannot be changed later. Yi Junlin shrugged. How should I put it? I am actually more powerful. Luo Qingwu. Good, very good, you are awesome, you are right. When the soldiers come, you push the tower, I will go to the middle lane to catch the mage first. Yi Junlin said this and turned to rush to the river. His speed was very fast, like a breeze blowing, stepping on the water without leaving a trace to the middle lane. Looking at the back figure who left in a chic manner, Luo Qingwu couldn't help muttering. Why do I feel that he can overthrow the whole scene by himself? In the middle lane of the Supreme Canyon, a large wave of water warriors came to the tower and attacked the tower statue. Chi chi chi, the tower statue glowed all over, emitting energy rays one after another, taking the lives of the water warriors one by one. Tear down this tower for me. Wang Gang and the team was filled with thunder and said in a strong manner. Kill. The remaining water tribe warriors were fearless. Countless blue water streams wrapped around their spears and stabbed the tower statue fiercely, shaking waves of energy. The entire tower statue was shaking violently, and many small stones fell. Kanglang Jun, who was beaten to a low health, was very frustrated hiding under the tower. He didn't expect that his role was more like a support. Facing a strong attack system like the Thunder King, he was no match for the head-on confrontation. Just now, he was beaten back step by step and had to hide under the tower to deal with him. But now, Wang Gang led the Water Tribe army to launch a fierce attack, and even began to have the intention of crossing the tower to kill him, which made Kanglang Jun, who was at a disadvantage, feel a lot of pressure. Don't hide, even if you hide, this tower will be torn down by me sooner or later. Wang Gang sneered. His palms shot out wisps of lightning, which continuously bombarded the tower-like statue, accelerating its collapse. Kanglang Jun's face was gloomy, and he was about to say something. Suddenly, the reminder sound of Liang Chaofeng being killed in the top lane sounded in his mind. Well done. Kanglang Jun's eyes lit up and he was very excited. It's so lonely to be invincible again. Wang Gang said angrily. Liang Chaofeng, who was about to be resurrected on the altar, said in panic through the sound transmission speaker, "Friend Wang, you should retreat quickly, I suspect that guy is going to catch you in the middle lane." Hearing this, Wang Gang sneered, "Come on, who's afraid of who? I am the Thunder King, am I afraid that I can't kill him, a sword cultivator?" Because the Thunder King he chose was indeed very strong, and he had eaten up all the soldiers in the middle lane, and his level had reached the 5th level, it was no wonder that his heart was so inflated. Liang Chaofeng said anxiously, "No, that guy was already at level 7 when he caught me, and his moves were incredibly powerful. I was killed by him in 1 second under the tower." What? Wang Gang was stunned, a trace of cold sweat on his forehead. "You didn't lie to me, did you? Is that guy really that strong?" "Brother, it's absolutely true." Hearing this, Wang Gang fell into silence, and an ominous sign of a storm emerged in his heart. HMPH, in this case, I will upgrade to level 6, so I may have the strength to fight. Wang Gang made up his mind and looked at Kanglang Jun hiding under the tower, with a ruthless look in his eyes. Chain thunder bombs. Swish, swish, blue light balls filled with thunder and lightning shot out, bombarding Kanglang Jun with the sound of breaking wind. Kanglang Jun was shocked and angry, he didn't expect the other party to really start directly under the tower. The sage book in his hand flipped wildly, and countless tadpole-like ancient characters flew out, bursting with green light, and gathered into a wall to protect him. Boom boom boom. Under the attack of the chain thunder bombs, the energy wall was shattered, and Kanglang Jun was injured by the violent aftermath of thunder and lightning. Many parts of his body were charred, and wisps of black smoke came out of his hair. Damn it! Kanglang Jun felt very aggrieved and had to abandon the tower and flee. But how could Wang Gang miss this opportunity? He immediately used the thunder body skills to rush forward, leaving a trail of afterimages mixed with thunder and lightning along the way, which had a great visual impact. Detecting that it was attacked, the tower-shaped statue quickly turned its spearhead and fired a beam of energy at Wang Gang. Wang Gang's mouth was bleeding, but he did not retreat. His palm was emitting azure lightning, and he slapped Kanglang Jun fiercely. Sizzle. A palm thunder accurately landed on Kanglang Jun's back, and a tingling electric sound burst out. The health bar was cleared. "Senior Yi, you will avenge me." Kanglang Jun's eyes rolled back, and his charred body fell to the ground, turning into countless light spots and disappeared. At this moment, a blue light appeared under Wang Gang's feet, and the level above his head changed from level 5 to level 6. Bang! At the same time, the tower-shaped statue in the middle was overwhelmed and was quickly blown up by a group of water soldiers. Haha, this time I actually chose a top-quality talent card. Invincible, I am invincible. Wang Gang's black hair fluttered, and he stood in place with his arms spread out. The abundant blue lightning lingered around his body, and he felt stronger than ever before. The effect of this top-quality talent card is to increase all lightning damage by 100 times. A full 100 times. Isn't this just taking off on the spot? If the guy just now was alive, he, the King of Thunder and Lightning, could kill him instantly with just a raise of his hand. Next, watch how I push all the way to the high ground, blow up the enemy's crystal, and win this round of battle. Wang Gang sneered, and his heart couldn't wait. However, at this time, a figure rushed out from the bushes beside the river, holding a sword. "Are you late?" Looking at the high tower pushed down in the middle, Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. "Haha, you really dare to come to the middle to catch me?" Wang Gang turned around calmly, and his expression suddenly stagnated when he saw Yi Junlin for the first time. Damn, what a shocking look. Is this Shen Jianxin? Hearing this, Yi Junlin narrowed his eyes slightly. "You mean, I shouldn't come to catch you?" Wang Gang came back to his senses and said proudly, "That's right, because you are walking into a trap." Yi Junlin was stunned. "Who gave you the confidence? Do you think you can dominate the whole game just because you have 3 heads and a level advantage? I'm telling you, you're totally wrong." While speaking, Wang Gang's eyes burst into lightning that split the sky, and fine blue runes appeared all over his body, emitting a blazing blue light. In an instant, his whole body turned into energy, and countless terrifying lightning surrounded him, as if he was possessed by the ancient thunder god. This is the ultimate move of the Thunder King, the King of Thunder. It's so lonely to be invincible. I'll show you what true invincibility is in this game. Kai la la. With the bonus of the ultimate move, Wang Gang raised his hand to cast the thunder in his palm, and the power became extremely terrifying. He flashed and exploded towards Yi Junlin. He was very confident, because with the bonus of that top-grade talent card, the lightning damage increased by 100 times, plus the ultimate move was fully activated. He felt that he could not lose. But what Wang Gang didn't know yet was, the man in front of him was equipped with 6 super-quality talent cards, and the characteristics of each card could completely beat the top-quality talent cards. Since you said so, I have to get serious. Yi Junlin's aura rose like a dragon, holding the sword high above his head, and then slashed it down in an instant. Swish! A huge silver sword light flew away in an instant, shattering the void along the way, leaving indescribable twisted ripples. The ground was crackling and shattering, and shocking sword marks emerged. This is Shen Jiangxin's ultimate move, the sword opens the sky. Wang Gang's scalp was numb, but he still gritted his teeth to fight back. Boom boom boom. The thunder in his palm was broken, and the silver sword light pressed over like a waterfall, covering his whole body in an instant. No, this is impossible. Wang Gang shouted in disbelief, his whole body dissipating at a speed visible to the naked eye. No power to resist, even struggling is a luxury. After a while, the ground was covered with ashes, and there was no trace of the Thunder King. Tisk, I thought he was so strong. Yi Junlin shook his head. Congratulations to Wudi How Lonely for successfully killing I Don't Eat Beef. Closing square bracket. The familiar prompt sounded in everyone's mind. On the altar of the Water Tribe, a hazy figure appeared. That was Wang Gang, who was waiting for the resurrection stage. At this moment, his expression was like a fool, and his mind was still recalling that terrifying sword move. I was killed in seconds. Wang Gang still found it hard to believe. He is a man with an excellent talent card. Friend Wang, now you believe me, that Wudi How Lonely is really strong. Liang Chaofeng just finished resurrecting and said angrily. As a victim who was killed under the tower, his fear of Yi Junlin is real. I admit that the guy is very powerful, but Shen Jiangxin is a character with weak defense and low vitality. We can unite and punish him. Everyone, go to the middle lane to gather and fight. Wang Gang's eyes were almost crazy. He would rather lose this duel than kill Yi Junlin. Even if it was only once. Chapter 467. C469 guaranteed to win. After Yi Junlin killed Wang Gang, he cleared another wave of troops and reached the 8th level. Swish, swish, 5 talent cards appeared. Yi Junlin didn't even think about it and picked a talent card at random. There was no doubt that it was still a super card this time. What is this? Yi Junlin was very surprised by the characteristics of this super talent card. It's a pity that I won't be able to use this trigger condition in this game. He sighed. Dang dang dang. The sound of dense footsteps came from behind. It's the Fire Tribe's team. A large group of tall Fire Tribe warriors, covered in flames, holding war spears, advanced menacingly in the middle. Just enough for a push. Yi Junlin decided to lead his troops and push all the way to the high ground. Immediately, the first defensive tower in the enemy's center was blown up, and soon the second defensive tower followed suit. Kill. The Fire Tribe warriors rushed to the high ground of the Water Tribe camp and descended upon the tower with overwhelming force. Chi chi chi. On the high ground, the towering tower-like statue shot out rays of blazing energy, killing Fire Tribe warriors one after another. Yi Junlin, who was full of health, stood with his sword in hand, looking at the crumbling defense tower. His brows couldn't help but frown. It's strange. I've pushed to the high ground. Where are the people on the other side? The next second, behind him, a creature with a rat head and body shrouded in black robes emerged from its invisibility. Its green bean-like eyes flashed with cunning, and it picked up the crossbow and shot out a dark purple poisonous arrow. Yi Junlin instinctively wanted to dodge, but the poisonous arrow exploded in the air, and dark purple poisonous mist spread instantly. Within the poisonous fog, Yi Junlin felt tingling all over his body, and his condition was on the decline. This is my strongest move, enjoy it. Zhao Haoyan sneered. You're looking for death. Yi Junlin narrowed his eyes and swung his sword to kill him. Suddenly, vines appeared under his feet. The vines had mysterious runes and emitted a strange green luster. Countless vines wrapped around him like pythons. As long as we control you, we have a chance. A tall creature like a tree man walked out, his palms glowing green, pointing at Yi Junlin. This is the enemy's 5th teammate, and the character he chooses is more control-oriented. Now, come on. Wang Gang roared angrily, immediately rushed out from the high ground, and decisively fired a series of thunder bombs. Moo! The bull-headed leader at the back makes a low roar, which increases the combat power of his teammates by a percentage. Kill! Liang Chaofeng had a ruthless look on his face, holding a pitch-black spear in his hand. The tip of the spear breathed out blazing black light, and then the spear shot out like a dragon and stabbed Yi Junlin. At this moment, 5 people worked together to surround Yi Junlin. Rumble! Smoke was everywhere on the ground, and exploding light groups appeared one after another. Because he was forcibly held for 3 seconds, Yi Junlin was forced to withstand huge injuries. The blood bar above his head was rapidly decreasing. Despite his high level and ability to kill at random, his character is actually a crispy man with ultra-thin health. At this time, he was beaten by 5 enemies with all their strength, and his situation was in a precarious position. Don't let him free his hands. Seize the opportunity to kill him. We are almost successful. Seeing that Yi Junlin's health bar was almost bottomed out, Wang Gang became extremely excited and shouted. Kill him! Avenge the shame! Liang Chaofeng shouted hysterically. After 3 seconds of hard control, Yi Junlin gritted his teeth and wanted to swing his sword, but found that the side effects of the poisonous mist were still obvious, making him very weak and depressed. Go to hell! Wang Gang was so angry that he raised his hand to wrap up the lightning ball and blasted it on Yi Junlin. Crackling, Yi Junlin fell to the ground helplessly, and the blood bar above his head cleared. We win! We win! Wang Gang and others cheered with tears in their eyes. Unknowingly, they regard defeating Yi Junlin as their final long-cherished wish, rather than pushing down the high ground. Because Yi Junlin is so strong that he is invincible in a single fight. Now that they have joined forces to kill him, they feel a sense of accomplishment in breaking the myth of invincibility. The next step is the beginning of our major counterattack, Zhao Haoyan said excitedly. Suddenly, Liang Chaofeng felt something was wrong. Who killed him just now? Why didn't the canyon report it? Yes, why? Everyone was stunned. It stands to reason that if every character is killed in the Supreme Canyon, news will be announced. But now, they worked together to kill Yi Junlin, but there was no sound for a long time. This is unreasonable. Suddenly, the charred corpse that was about to be broken into pieces released a burst of holy milky white light. What's going on? Everyone was shocked and had an ominous premonition in their hearts. Milky white light shone, and the broken body was rapidly healing and reorganizing. It was a man with a killer figure on his head. He stood up slowly with a long sword in his hand, his eyes were extremely sharp, and he said meaningfully. I didn't expect that you actually used my resurrection armor. But, that's where it ends. That's right, the characteristic of the newly obtained super talent card is that it can resurrect Yi Junlin on the spot after death. Whoosh! Yi Junlin's figure was as fast as lightning and disappeared instantly on the spot. Seeing this incredible scene, Wang Gang's brain immediately shut down and he murmured, how is it possible? On his neck, there was a thin white line, which was caused by Yi Junlin's sword. Puff! Wang Gang's head was separated from his body, and he was killed instantly by a sword. Run, Zhao Haoyan said in a lost voice. As he said that, he was about to hide and escape, but there was a fierce gust of wind behind him. Before he could take 2 steps, his body was split in 2 and he died on the spot. Save me, save me. The tree creature wanted to rush into the tower in panic, but was also killed by a sword. Unrestrained Yi Junlin was like the god of death, running around the whole place, and whoever he touched would die. Why, With a clang, the spear fell to the ground, and Liang Chaofeng grabbed his hair and shouted in despair. He couldn't understand why Yi Junlin could miraculously come back to life under such a joint siege. This is too unfair. Puff! The sword energy passed by, and he was cut in half. Yi Junlin looked at the bull-headed leader who hurriedly ran into the tower, and said, we are teammates, so we should be neat and tidy. As he said that, his figure shot out like a sharp arrow, forced his way into the tower and swung his sword at the opponent. I don't believe that I can't block your sword. The big guy gritted his teeth and used the move of copper wall and iron wall, and the hardness of his whole body increased madly. If Wang Gang turned on the state of Thunder King, it would take some effort to kill, which shows how abnormal his defense is. The big guy has an obsession, which is to block Yi Junlin's sword. Even if it is just one sword. Puff! The body spurted out blood, and the terrifying sword marks appeared along the chest. The big guy's eyes rolled back, and his whole body slowly fell to the ground, and he was out of breath. At the same time, the canyon reported the news. Congratulations to Woody How Lonely, completing 5 consecutive peerless. Close black lens bracket. Yi Junlin stood with a sword in his hand, and said calmly, "Pentakill is in hand." Kanglang Jun, who was still on the road, was stunned when he heard the prompt sound. What's going on? The 5 people on the opposite side were killed by Senior Yi. Luo Qingwu, who happened to push to the high ground on the top road, was shocked. Damn, is it so powerful? Dao Yu Xiaohei, we seem to be winning. Tang Yaoyao said in surprise. The Great Mushroom King smiled bitterly and said, with Master here, it's hard for us to lose. One person leads 4 teammates, this game is guaranteed to win. Chapter 468. C470 nicknamed, Brother Woody. In the outside world, many cultivators who could not enter the Supreme Secret Realm felt extremely regretful and remorseful, but since they were here, it was not easy to just leave, so they simply stayed and watched the projection of the Secret Realm. A huge light screen appeared in the air, and 200 teams were in fierce confrontation. The crowd in Wangfang Valley was as huge as the sea, and there was overwhelming noise and discussion. Oh my god, there is such a routine, it's fun to play. This mode looks really interesting, but it's a pity that we can't participate. Team fight, with this level, I can do it. Being able to watch the battle of 200 teams at once is like opening a god's perspective for everyone. There are many brothers who understand and start to point out the situation. Suddenly, a duel was particularly eye-catching and gradually attracted more and more attention. Look, the third to last picture in the lower left corner, the trialist named Wudi Haoluo is very special. What kind of weird look is this? I'm so tired of fists. At first, many cultivators were dissatisfied with Yi Junlin's character appearance, until they saw him easily kill 2 people in the wild area at the beginning, and their expressions were all shocked. Killing with low health is fine, but he killed one with 1 sword. Isn't this too much damage? Later, seeing Yi Junlin finish brushing the wild, go to the top lane to catch Liang Chaofeng, and kill him in one go by crossing the tower, and retreat gracefully, everyone was very surprised. Do you think that the damage caused by the trialist named Wudi Haoluo is a bit exaggerated? An old man in green frowned. It's not a bit exaggerated, it's too exaggerated. 1 sword kills a person, the strength is simply different. A man next to him smiled bitterly. Then, Wang Gang in the middle lane killed Kanglang Jun by crossing the tower, showing a strong attitude, which made all the monks look forward to it. This trialer who makes me feel uncomfortable is very strong, and he will definitely compete with Wudi Hao Lonely. That's right, I don't believe that guy can solve this kind of thing with 1 sword. Soon, Yi Junlin came to the middle lane and faced Wang Gang from a distance. The 2 sides were on the verge of a fight. Here it comes, who do you think will win? I bet on the Thunder King. It's mainly because I don't like the guy with the sword. Me too, that guy looks mean, and he's called Wudi Hao Lonely. I don't like this name just because of it. I don't eat beef, come on. Many monks at the scene were cheering for Wang Gang, hoping to see Wang Gang cut off Yi Junlin's invincible momentum. The next second, the battle broke out. Wang Gang activated his ultimate move and transformed into the King of Thunder. His majestic appearance was very intimidating and gained a large number of fans. On the other hand, Yi Junlin raised his sword above his head indifferently. Who would have thought that the sword light he slashed out was so terrifying that it killed Wang Gang in an instant, and his health bar was instantly cleared. Suddenly, the cheering voices fell silent. Many cultivators were stunned and stared blankly. No way, another sword kill. Is this weird guy really invincible? I just want to ask, how can you fight in this situation? Anyone you meet can be solved with 1 sword, so he can defeat the whole audience by himself. That's right, what's the point of playing? If it were me, I would give up directly. There is no experience at all. The strength shown by Yi Junlin was too abnormal, which made many people at the scene feel inexplicably heavy. One by one, they put themselves in the victim's perspective and complained. When they saw that Yi Junlin had no obstacles all the way and hit the high ground, everyone shook their heads, thinking that the 5 opponents had already given up. However, Li Haoyan's first attack, and the other 4 teammates' attacks, made everyone realize that this was a decapitation operation to lure the enemy deep into the enemy's territory and jointly surround and kill Yi Junlin. Their unwillingness to admit defeat and their desperate gambles invisibly mobilized the emotions of many monks. For a time, the audience at the scene entered a climax stage, and all felt their blood boiling and adrenaline soaring wildly. That's right, that's it, work together to defeat him. It's almost successful, Wudi Hao Lonely's health bar is about to be cleared. We will win, this is the beginning of a comeback. Excited shouts came one after another. Countless people were attracted by this scene and watched with bated breath. Soon, Yi Junlin was besieged to death. When his body fell, the whole Wangfang Valley burst into earth-shaking cheers. They did it, they really did it. Woody how lonely is not invincible. A woman in a purple skirt burst into tears and choked. Invincible, there is no such thing as invincible. The trial of the Supreme Secret Realm emphasizes teamwork. One person can't fight alone. You should take this as a warning. An old man with white hair and a youthful face said with emotion. This is the power of teamwork. The monks said excitedly. That feeling is like 5 righteous monks desperately besieging a heinous big devil, and finally won the victory with great difficulty, which brought them a huge motivational effect. It's really inspiring. As a result, Yi Junlin suddenly came back to life. Because all the skills were used up, Wang Gang and the others were like lambs to be slaughtered, and were taken away by Yi Junlin's swords one by one. The hard-won victory just now seemed to be punctured like a bubble and turned into nothing. Pentakill. The whole place was silent. Countless monks looked at them in shock, their passion was frozen into ice, and they felt cold all over in an instant. In the picture, the man with the shamat hairstyle stood with a long sword in his hand, with a mean expression and a crooked smile, as if he was silently mocking across the screen. The line of words above his head was very eye-catching at this moment. Invincible is so lonely. Seeing this, everyone deeply realized the value of this name. Fuck, this is impossible to beat. Is it fair to be resurrected after death? Is there a conspiracy? It's really outrageous. Anyway, I'm convinced. Discussions arose. Although some people were excited and injustice, more were impressed by Yi Junlin's strength. Some monks even began to call him Invincible Brother. At this time, the defense tower on the high ground exploded. Many fire tribe warriors held spears and besieged the energy crystal of the water tribe's ancestral land. Swish, swish, swish. The crescent-shaped blue crystal immediately shot out energy shock waves, causing the fire tribe warriors to die on the spot. On the resurrection altar, 5 figures gradually solidified. They looked at the scene in front of them with despair on their faces. They had tried their best. But it was useless. Woo, I don't want to play anymore, I don't want to play anymore. Zhao Haoyan squatted on the ground with his head in his hands, crying in collapse. Others looked angry. What kind of trial is this? It's not fair at all. How can there be such a strong character, and still fight a few times? I thought I could avenge my previous shame, but I was beaten to pieces again. The clown turned out to be me. How do you feel? Kanglang Jun approached the altar and said with a smile. Fuck, the 5 of us are standing here. After being resurrected, Wang Gang couldn't stand this kind of failure. At this time, he stood on the altar, leaned back and raised his head, stretched out his hand and hooked, and shouted excitedly. Come over here if you dare. Chapter 469. C471 Brother Woody, awesome. He didn't dare to go out for fear of being killed by Yi Junlin's sword, but on the altar, he was confident. Because the Water Tribe's altar has a mysterious power that not only allows injured people to recover quickly, but also releases a defensive light curtain to block external attacks. You're quite arrogant. Lord Kanglang frowned. Snort. Luo Qingwu didn't take it easy at all. She waved her hand and released several energy balls, which bombarded Wang Gang on the altar. On the altar, a blue light curtain condensed out, easily blocking the energy ball without making any waves. That's it. Wang Gang became more and more confident, put his hands on his hips, and mocked, try harder, you little trash. Fuck you. Luo Qingwu couldn't bear this kind of anger, so she used all her moves to hit them all. Master, let me help you. Tang Yaoyao pulled out the bowstring, and the infinite green energy gathered into an arrow. One arrow shot and exploded on the light screen. Unfortunately, the light curtain is still strong and there is no trace of damage. Ah ha ha ha, I'm so inferior to you. Wang Gang threw his head back and laughed, his originally aggrieved mood was released, as if he let out a fierce breath. After being resurrected, several teammates looked at each other. Then, their eyes lit up, and they all started spewing trash talk outside, some of them pointing their fingers at Yi Junlin. Invincible is so lonely, you have the guts to come in and kill me. If you can't come in, you are my grandson. What are you looking at? If you come in, I will kill you. There are 5 idiots out there. These 5 people relied on the protection of the altar to provoke wildly. After all, he couldn't beat him again and again. Seeing that the crystal was about to be pushed away and his defeat was certain, it would be better to have a good talk and save some face. Damn it, these guys. Lord Kanglang looked ugly. Although it was easy to win this round, when this happened in the end, it felt like eating a dead rat. I will help you. Suddenly, Yi Junlin stepped forward with his sword in hand, his killer hairstyle fluttering in the wind. Just as his ultimate move had finished cooling down, he wanted to try to see if he could break through the defensive formation of the altar and give these 5 people a little surprise. Can it really be done? Luo Qingwu was surprised and did not dare to make a conclusion. Master, come on, Big Mushroom King said excitedly. On the altar, when the 5 people saw this scene, their faces were a little panicked, but they were quickly replaced by anger. Invincible is so lonely, don't be too arrogant. That's right, do you really think you can break the altar's defense? That's ridiculous. Wang Gang was even more angry and laughed, the altar can withstand all attacks. This is the rule of the canyon. If you can break through the altar's defense, I, Wang Gang, will be renamed bastard for the rest of my life. He was so emotional that he swore an oath on the spot. Very good, I guess you really need to change your name. Yi Junlin joked with a smile, holding a long sword high above his head, his aura rising at an incredible speed. Rumble, a terrifying coercion spread, and spider web-like cracks appeared on the ground. At this time, Yi Junlin's level has been upgraded from the 8th level to the 10th level, which means that there are 2 more super-grade talent cards blessed, and their characteristics are related to the increase in power. Haha, who are you trying to scare? Wang Gang couldn't help but his heart was pounding, but he still pretended to be calm and sneered. Seeing this posture, the other 4 people silently took a few steps back, the expressions on their faces full of surprise. The sword opens the heavenly gate. In an instant, Yi Junlin slashed out with his sword. The silver-white sword light was as bright as a galaxy, crushing it with unparalleled power. The huge sword energy was like a tornado, tearing through the void along the way. Boom 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 boom, the blue light curtain was trembling violently, and the entire altar was shaking, frightening Wang Gang and the others, and their scalps were numb. Hey, do you need to be so serious? We are just having a temporary high. Soon, the extremely powerful silver-white sword light gradually dispersed and turned into nothing. Wang Gang was stunned, then laughed loudly. Don't show off if you don't have the ability. It's so embarrassing. It was so dangerous, he really thought that he would change his name to Bastard in the future. We thought it was so awesome, but it turned out that the thunder was louder and the raindrops were lighter. The other 4 people secretly breathed a sigh of relief and said sarcastically. Being able to mock the man who brought them despair at the last moment gave them an inexplicable sense of revenge. It's so cool and exciting. Ha 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 ha. Senior Yi, this is a matter of the rules of the canyon, don't take it to heart. Lord Kanglang quickly comforted him. You're right, don't worry about it, their crystal is going to explode anyway. Luo Qingwu sneered. Yi Junlin shook his head, don't worry, let the bullets fly for a while. After hearing this, everyone was confused. Click, click, click. Suddenly, the blue light curtain seemed to be overwhelmed and unable to resolve this huge force. Fine cracks began to appear and then shattered. What? The laughter suddenly stopped, and the 5 people stared so hard that their eyes almost fell out, their faces were full of shock, and their heads were buzzing. The protective cover of the altar was actually shattered by a sword. I haven't tried the torture spring yet. You gave me this opportunity. In return, I will let you die again. Yi Junlin held the long sword in front of him and smiled playfully. Hearing this, Wang Gang was shocked and angry, this is too much bullying, let's fight him. Just when they were about to take action, a huge sword energy field suddenly unfolded, covering the entire altar. This is the sword energy field. Yi Junlin's voice was clear and echoed in the sky above the high ground. This is Shen Jiangxin's 3rd active move. There is no doubt that within this field, you will be attacked by dense sword energy. And after being strengthened by various super talent cards, the power of this move is also quite abnormal. Even each sword energy has the power to kill Wang Gang and his men. Now hundreds of sword energies are fired at the same time, which is simply unimaginable. Wang Gang and the other 5 were stabbed with holes and fell powerlessly on the altar, their eyes were dim and their faces were gray. They didn't expect that they could be killed on the resurrected altar. Congratulations to Wudi Haoji for completing 5 consecutive peerless. Close black lens bracket. The prompt sound of the canyon sounded again. Yi Junlin sheathed his sword, put his hands behind his back, and stood there like a peerless master. Another 5 kills. Can we still play like this? Kanglang Jun and his friends were shocked and murmured. At the same time, the energy crystal was blown up by the Fire Clan warriors, which marked the victory of the Fire Clan camp. It also means that Yi Junlin and his friends won this round of duel and can advance to the next round. It's finally over. Although they were defeated miserably, Wang Gang and his 5 friends felt relieved. Even after many years, they would feel that the most wrong thing they had done in their lives was to enter the supreme secret realm without knowing what was good for them and meet a trialist named Woody. How lonely. This is a psychological shadow that cannot be described in a lifetime. And in the outside world, when they saw Yi Junlin shatter the shield on the altar with a sword, and then violently slaughtered Wang Gang and his friends and got another 5 kills. Countless cultivators were shocked beyond words, and their expressions almost fell into a stagnation. Isn't this too outrageous? They were all on the altar, how could they be killed? They couldn't help but sympathize with Wang Gang and the other 5. They were so unlucky to meet such an opponent. Suddenly, a monk was infected by the emotion and shouted excitedly. "Brother Woody, awesome!" Broken voice. As soon as these words came out, as if a chain reaction had formed, the whole Wangfang Valley was boiling. Countless men and women turned into fanatical fans, shouting excitedly at the screen. "Brother Woody, awesome!" The shouts shook the earth and echoed between heaven and earth for a long time. Window. _Taboola equals window. _Taboola. Push mode. Thumbs feed 01. Container. Taboola below article thumbnail. 300 times 250 feet. Placement. Below article thumbnail 300 times 250 feet. Target _type. Mix. Chapter 470. C471 Undefeated Emperor. In this way, 200 teams competed on the same stage, and the team headed by Yi Junlin won first. The name Invincible Brother enjoys a high influence among the crowd. To be honest, Brother Invincible has such a weird look. I don't know why the more I look at it, the more handsome he becomes. A young man with delicate features and bright eyes said excitedly. "Fellow Taoist, you are not the only one who feels this way, I also have this idea." The tall man next to him said seriously. "The hairstyle seems exaggerated, but it adds a bohemian temperament, which is in line with the style of swordsmen of my generation." A man with a long sword in his arms and a bun on his head murmured, with something in his heart. A strange thought. Yi Junlin never expected that he would change Yu Shu Linfang and the handsome Shen Jianxin into that extremely shocking look just for the purpose of prank. But because his performance in the Supreme Canyon was so incredible and he gained countless fans at the scene, this obviously weird image was seen by everyone as a unique, cool and unrestrained style. In fact, this is a typical idol effect. At this time, after Yi Junlin and the others won, everyone began to focus on the duel between other teams. After watching the exciting scenes of killing with one sword, everyone felt that the battles between many teams were mediocre, without much viewing experience, and very boring. Look. In the 6th screen from the bottom in the lower right corner, there is a guy named the Undefeated Emperor who is performing very well. Suddenly, a strong man stretched out his finger and said in surprise. "The Invincible Emperor." Upon hearing this title, everyone was startled and looked around. Although it stands to reason that the pseudonym for the trial can be chosen at will, but when it comes to the word, Great Emperor, it is not that simple. Those who can call themselves Great Emperors are in the realm of immortal emperors. The lifespan is almost endless, it can stand in the long river of time without falling, and it has many unimaginable means. It is the supreme existence that stands at the top of the immortal way. Now, some people actually use the pseudonym used in the trial to touch the porcelain immortal emperor for no good reason. Moreover, he is somewhat similar to the undefeated immortal emperor who is world famous and recognized as the most powerful in the immortal world. How dare he? Aren't you afraid of being contaminated by this huge cause and effect and ending up dead? In that scene, a handsome man wearing a jet black dragon robe, an imperial crown on his head, standing on the enemy's high ground with his hands behind his hands, raised a playful smile at the corner of his mouth. He was surrounded by countless dragon energy, and the pressure released was as vast as a mountain. The row of ID names above the head is extremely eye-catching. The Undefeated Emperor. That's right, this person is Tong Wudi. The character he chose was called Emperor Qi, and his identity was the first emperor who unified the chaotic 6 kingdoms and eventually established an immortal dynasty. The reason why he chose Di Qi was because Tong Wudi felt that this character was very domineering, and he wanted to use this character to dominate the audience and embark on the road to invincibility. After the duel started, Tong Wudi was running around in the canyon. He had no routine or tactics at all. However, because of his status as the son of luck in the immortal world, he chose the best talent card at the beginning, and then rushed all the way, killing everyone, overwhelming everyone. The enemy camp was left breathless. Now, his level is the highest level, the 12th level, and almost all of them are blessed with top-grade talent cards. There are even a few super-grade talent cards among them, and he has taken 25 kills so far. Logically speaking, Tong Wudi could quickly lead his troops to destroy the enemy's crystals by himself. But he just put it off. Out of a playful nature he just wanted to experience it for a while. Even the monsters in the wild area were wiped out by him, the defense towers in the middle lane were all demolished, and only one energy crystal was left on the opposite side to hold on. The 5 pitiful enemies were so tortured that they did not even dare to leave the high ground. They stayed on the altar with their eyes wide open and wanted to cry without tears. Invincible Emperor, please be kind and let us go. Please push the crystal away quickly, don't torture us anymore. Tong Wudi snapped his fingers and said with a meaningful smile, thank you for playing with me for so long. In return, I will give you some small compensation afterwards. What's the meaning? The 5 enemies looked at each other. Behind Tong Wudi, the other 4 teammates had complicated expressions. Immortal, we have found a treasure now. A man couldn't restrain his excitement and said to Bao Nishwang. Yeah, that guy really took us away. Another companion sighed. Bao Nishwang was stunned on the spot. She didn't expect that she could bring the entire team into flight by just bringing someone in. Although he likes to run around in the canyon without any rules, he can rely on his absolute strength to forcefully defeat the 5 people on the opposite side. The main thing is to defeat 10 with one force. Even Bao Nishwang had to admit that it felt so good to be carried away. She breathed a long sigh of relief, with a smug smile on her face. If we continue like this, we will definitely reach the highest level. At this moment, Tong Wudi felt that his interest had run out and exploded the crystal with his own hands, ending this round of duel. This arrogant guy's record is incredible. The monks outside were surprised. Obviously, the name the Invincible Emperor has attracted a lot of attention, and its influence is second only to the popular Invincible Salonli. Not long after, teams were finishing the battle one after another. After the first round of screening of 200 teams, only 100 were left. After random matching in the secret realm, the 100 teams began the second round of duels, then the third round, the fourth round. From the beginning to the end, everyone focused on Yi Junlin and Tong Wudi. The two had similarities, simply crushing their opponents all the way, being invincible in single combat, and finally overwhelmed the entire venue. Brother Wudi always kills the enemy with one sword. If he encounters an opponent like the unbeaten Emperor, can he still maintain this performance? Suddenly, a cultivator thought of something and asked curiously. As soon as this topic came out, it immediately caused a lot of discussion. HMPH, if one sword can't kill him, then 2 swords, I believe in Brother Wudi. That's right, Brother Wudi is the best. He is 100% invincible in single combat. I think it's hard to say, after all, the undefeated Emperor is also very strong, and he kills in seconds throughout the whole game. I really want to see them fight soon. I can't wait. As for who is stronger between the two, countless men and women are looking forward to it, thinking that this will be a peak battle of personal martial arts. After several rounds of fighting, only 4 teams are left out of the 200 teams, and then the 7th round of competition begins to decide the last 2 teams to compete for the championship. Among them are naturally the teams of Yi Junlin and Tong Wudi. When entering the final countdown of the Supreme Canyon, another Dark Horse team is discussing. Eternal life, thanks to you, we can get to this point. Yes, if we win this round, we can enter the final decisive round. To be honest, I never dreamed of it. What should we do next? Should we form a team to counter jungle first? Or suppress the middle lane? Everyone listens to you. The teammates were very excited. And the immortal they were talking about was none other than the ancestor of immortality. Faced with the compliments of the other people, the ancestor of immortality habitually said modestly, "Dear Taoist friends, your words are too much. Your cooperation is indispensable. After all, the strength of the team is crucial." Relying on the rich experience of winning the previous 3 championships, the ancestor of immortality easily gained the command of the team and began to specify a series of playing methods and tactics to maximize the role of each teammate, so that the opponents in the previous rounds were suppressed to death, leaving no room for resistance. He was also trusted and admired by the other 4 teammates because of his proper command and dominance of the overall situation. Haha, Changsheng Bumi is right. Hearing this, the teammates were very happy and had a better impression of Changsheng Laozu. This is the embodiment of high emotional intelligence. After all, who doesn't like to hear good words? As long as we win this game, it will be the final battle, and I am only one step away from the immortal Dao fruit. Changsheng Laozu said secretly. With the immortal Dao fruit, he is expected to condense a complete 30 million laws and realize the ultimate wish of this life. But the strange thing is, Even though he is experienced and a veritable 3-time champion, his state of mind should be calm and steady like an old dog. But for some reason, this time he had a vague sense of foreboding, as if it was a sign of a storm coming. Chapter 471. C472. Is this a new strategy? What's going on? Did something happen? The ancestor of Changsheng frowned. Soon, his brows relaxed and he chuckled a few times. Haha, I must have been overthinking. How could anyone fight me? He was very confident when he said this. Because this is the confidence from a 3-time champion. The countdown ended, and the two teams officially entered the Supreme Canyon. On the altar of the Water Tribe, a middle-aged man wearing a judge's hat, with a face like cold iron, a big beard, and a black and red robe, holding a judge's pen in his right hand and a black iron hook in his left hand, his eyes were as deep as the sea. The line of names on the top of his head was Changsheng Immortal. This character is called the Merciless Judge. His moves tend to be control-oriented, and the damage is also explosive at certain times. The ancestor of Changsheng used this character to lead the team to easily win one victory after another. Let me see, which characters are on the opposite side. He opened the interface skillfully, and after seeing the opponent's lineup, a smile with deep meaning appeared on his face. Hehe, they are all characters with low vitality. If I guess correctly, Shen Jianxin is playing the role of jungler. As long as we counter him in the early stage and make him lose the opportunity to develop, then the next initiative will be on my side. With just a rough look at the lineup, Changsheng Laozu can instantly infer the enemy's play style. It's so lonely to be invincible, so I'll start with you. Then, both sides began to dispatch troops, and a fierce contest unfolded silently. A man with a killer haircut on his head, with a step of not recognizing relatives, entered the jungle and came to a familiar position. Roar! The silver moon wolf let out a low roar, his eyes were fierce, and he looked at the sword-wielding young man with vigilance. Swish! Yi Junlin swung his sword and was about to cut it down, but suddenly the sword stopped in midair, as if he thought of something, and slowly retracted it, looking at the silver moon wolf with a complicated face. Speaking of which, why do I always have to fight this wild monster at the beginning? Anyway, as long as I level up, I can take off directly, so it doesn't matter how I play. Anyway, I can win, and happiness is the most important thing. The more Yi Junlin thought about it, the more he felt that it made sense, so he left briskly with his sword in his arms, heading for the middle lane where Kanglang Jun was. What he didn't know was that after a moment, 3 figures came out of the bushes and found the place where he was just now. The interval in between was only a few seconds. Huh. The old ancestor Changsheng saw the empty venue and the safe and sound silver moon wolf, and a big question mark appeared on his head. What's going on? Where is the guy called Wudi? How lonely? Changsheng Bumi, didn't you say he would play in the wild here? The other 2 teammates asked in surprise. This was the first time they saw this man who was as predictable as a god miscalculated. You know, in the past, he always guessed right, as if he could predict the future in advance, and always made accurate countermeasures in advance. As a result, the predicted target did not come to play jungle, which was the first time for them. The corners of Changsheng Patriarch's mouth twitched a few times, and he was very depressed. You ask me, who should I ask? Logically, with his rich experience, the first wild monster he killed at the beginning was basically the silver moon wolf. After all, this wild monster was of a low level and had no powerful killing moves, which was most suitable for a first-level novice to play alone. But the problem was that the guy on the opposite side who used Shen Jianxin did not come to play the silver moon wolf, which was indeed beyond his expectations. If Yi Junlin was here, he would definitely feel a chill down his spine. Because if he continued to play jungle here just now, he would definitely be caught by the 3 Changsheng Patriarchs and lose his first blood. If he didn't have time to upgrade, he would not have the blessing of the super talent card, and he would not be able to fight in this situation. Could it be that the guy is also fighting against our jungle? In an instant, Changsheng Patriarch thought of this and immediately felt like he was facing a great enemy. This possibility is very high. After all, they can come all the way here, why can't others go over? You too, the opponent must have guessed our intention long ago, so he went to our jungle to spawn monsters in advance. Changsheng Laozu said in a deep voice. Hiss, this is a master. The other 2 were surprised. No wonder they came up empty-handed. It turned out that the opponent didn't want to play in the jungle at all, but went the other way and ran to their jungle. Awesome, this awareness is very good. Suddenly, another teammate transmitted a message through the remote speaker. Something happened. There is an enemy in the middle lane, calling invincible is so lonely. What? Changsheng Laozu, who received the message, froze on his face, and almost suspected that he had heard it wrong. Why did he leave the wild monsters and run to the middle lane? Is he going to catch you? Changsheng Laozu hurriedly asked for confirmation. Soon, the man responded, with a slightly strange voice, no, he came to the middle lane to rub the teammates' line of soldiers. Changsheng Laozu, running to the middle lane to rub the line of soldiers at the beginning. The teammates must have sprayed him to death. Strange, why did he do this? The immortal ancestor stood there racking his brains, puzzled by Yi Junline's behavior. It is most undesirable to steal the line of soldiers in the early stage, because it will seriously affect the development of teammates, not to mention that as a jungler, stealing the line of soldiers of a mid-lane mage will put the mage at a disadvantage. Moreover, to be able to fight all the way to this position, the tactics and playing style are all logical, but this is the only thing that Changsheng Patriarch really didn't understand. Could it be a kind of new routine at this time? In the middle road, Yi Junline held a long sword, slashed horizontally and vertically, fighting with the water tribe warriors one by one, and more than a dozen corpses fell under his feet. Kanglang Jun behind him smiled and said, "Senior Yi, what wind blew you here this time?" He felt very depressed about Yi Junline's confusing behavior of running to the middle road to rub the soldiers. But he didn't dare to complain, so he had to ask tentatively. Yi Junline squinted and said, "I have my own feet, I can come whenever I want, do you have any objections, old man?" Kanglang Jun was startled, and hurriedly waved his hands and said, No, I absolutely have no objection. I warmly welcome the arrival of Senior Yi. Go on, this wave of soldiers is all yours. After Kanglang Jun finished speaking, he secretly added in his heart, anyway, we are all led by you. Opposite guys, are you here to make fun of me? Two people actually share a line of soldiers in the middle lane. Behind the water warrior, a man wearing a black cloak, surrounded by several mysterious light balls, and with a tattoo on his face, mocked. Zhou Chu didn't expect that Yi Junline, as a jungler, would compete with the mage in the middle lane for the line of soldiers. This practice is simply absurd. He can already imagine the situation that he can overpower Kanglang Jun next. Window. _Taboola equals window. _Taboola. Push mode. Thumb speed 01. Container. Taboola below article thumbnail, 300 times 250 feet. Placement. Below article thumbnail 300 times 250 feet. Target _type. Mix. Chapter 472. C473 The advantage is mine. You care about me. Yi Junline continued to clear the enemy line, his mentality still good. As a result, he did not reach the second level until the last water warrior was killed. This is embarrassing. Haha, you are really here to make fun of me. In the early stage, we share the same troop line on the same road, and you still want to get to the second level first. Are you dreaming? Zhou Chu sneered, his eyes looking like he was looking at a fool. On the other hand, he cleared the Fire Tribe's troops and quickly reached level 2. Not only did he unlock the second active move, he was also lucky enough to choose a high-grade talent card. This caused the strength of both sides to instantly increase. Moon Eclipse Slash. Whoa, a dark purple arc-shaped light blade flew away, carrying strong power. Senior Yi, be careful. Lord Kanglang quickly moved to intercept, and the sage book in his hand burst out with bright light. Boom, the exploding light group emerged. Aha, Kanglang Jun said with blood bleeding from the corner of his mouth. His figure was in a miserable state, and more than half of the health bar on his head was missing. Xiao Dezi, are you okay? Yi Junline pulled Kanglang Jun back to the tower and asked with symbolic concern. Kanglang Jun's face was pale and very weak. Looking at the killing young man in front of him, a smile uglier than crying appeared on his face. No, it's okay, I'm fine. Don't worry, I will help you get revenge later. Yi Junline patted Kanglang Jun on the shoulder and made a solemn promise. Hear the words. People outside the tower laughed loudly, and the laughter was full of ridicule. A person like you who doesn't understand tactics still thinks about defeating me later. Because of your stupid behavior just now, you lost your level advantage and you were destined to be crushed by me. I thought your team was so good. How did you get all the way here? It must be luck. Zhou Chu was sarcastic and in a particularly cheerful mood, feeling that this game was definitely a sure win. Yi Junline was not angry and said meaningfully, Haha, the so-called tactics in your mouth are not worth mentioning in front of me. Soon I will let you see what absolute power is. After saying that, he turned around and left the middle road, heading to the nearby jungle to spawn monsters. This was to make up for the missing part of experience. As long as his level reaches the second level, he can soar into the sky and start the crazy killing mode. TCH, who are you trying to scare? Zhou Chu showed contempt on his face, feeling that the other party was running away, and he felt even more disdainful in his heart. A rookie like this who can only talk big words can hang him up and beat him up by himself. How dare you talk so brazenly about absolute power? Laughing to death. Hey, I'm really curious, with such weird teammates, how did you manage to play till now? Zhou Chu joked. Lord Kanglang, who was under the tower, took a pill, sat cross-legged on the ground to recuperate, and said coldly, Senior Yi is right, you will soon see what absolute power is. His tone was firm and serious. Zhou Chu was dumbfounded. Holy shit, are you brainwashed? Okay, I'll wait and see. Let's see what tricks that guy can do. Zhou Chu sneered. At this time, the immortal ancestor and 2 other teammates quickly killed more than a dozen ferocious beasts in the jungle, and their levels were upgraded to the 2nd level. They were just a little short of the 3rd level with experience. Fellow Taoist, is the jungler on the other side still in the middle? The ancestor of immortality said remotely. No more. I was so scared that I cowered in another wild area. Before I left, I said harsh words, saying that we would see what absolute power is later. I really wanted to die laughing. Zhou Chu responded Road. Absolute power. The ancestor of immortality looked strange. As a former Triple Crown champion, he knew very well that there was no absolute power here. Only superb tactics and perfect teamwork could win every match. It seemed that he had worried too much before. The 5 people on the opposite side were able to get here because they were lucky. And that invincible one is so lonely, just playing around. In this case, it will be easy to win this duel. The immortal ancestor's eyes flickered, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Immortal, what are we going to do now? The other 2 teammates asked respectfully. The immortal ancestor adjusted his thoughts and said in a deep voice, go to the bottom lane and grab the shooter and support. Immediately, the 3 of them took action together and rushed towards the lower road. Chi chi chi. The first tower-like statue on the lower road now shot out blazing energy rays, bombarding the Fire Tribe warriors one after another. The bodies of the Fire Tribe warriors were pierced, dripping with blood, and fell to the ground helplessly. Come on everyone. In the team, Tang Yaoyao held a bow and arrow and kept pulling the bowstring. Swish, swish, arrows dragged flowing green light, focusing on the tower-shaped statue. The tower-like statue trembled slightly, and the blood bar above its head decreased sharply. Because the enemy had no one guarding the tower, Tang Yaoyao was able to lead his troops to the tower easily. Clearly, she was working hard to dismantle the tower. The big Mushroom King behind him asked in confusion, Tang Immortal, why is there no one guarding the tower on the other side? Have they given up? I don't know, maybe. Tang Yaoyao didn't think much about it. She just wanted to be a happy tower demolition expert. Just as she was getting excited about playing, something suddenly happened. From the grass in the river next to it, 3 figures suddenly rushed out and besieged him. Boom boom boom, powerful skills were released one after another, catching Tang Yaoyao and Big Mushroom King off guard, and their health bars dropped rapidly. No, we are ambushed. Tang Yaoyao looked panicked, retreating while shooting arrows. I'll cover you, you go quickly. Big Mushroom King said urgently, waving his staff back and forth, and a peaceful golden light fell on Tang Yaoyao's body. Holy blessing! Tang Yaoyao's injuries were effectively alleviated, and his movement speed also increased a lot, and he quickly distanced himself from the enemy. As for the Big Mushroom King, he acted as a human shield and was beaten to death, with a bruised nose and a swollen face. Little black Taoist friend, seeing the pain on the old man's face, Tang Yaoyao said with pity. It's too late, please stay. The one who spoke was none other than the elder ancestor. Wow, this is the sound of chains stretching. A hook hit Tang Yaoyao accurately and dragged her back roughly. No, the Big Mushroom King cried out sadly. I'll fight with you. Tang Yaoyao gritted her teeth in anger and fired arrows desperately. However, the immortal ancestor and the others are better because they have more people, and the damage they inflict will be greater. Go to hell. Bai Wuya held the sword in his hand and made a terrifying sword. The overwhelmed Big Mushroom King was the first to die, and his body turned into dots of light and dissipated. Give me this head. Another teammate, Hu Jia, said with a ferocious smile. He raised his hand and threw a blazing soul spear, piercing the dying Tang Yaoyao on the spot. Tang Yaoyao's face was full of reluctance, and her chest was dripping with blood. Her exquisite body turned into countless light spots, gradually floating in the air. Immediately, 2 notification sounds of successful kills sounded in everyone's minds, and only then did Yi Junlin and the others know the outcome of the battle in the bottom lane. Luo Qingwu, who was fighting on the top lane, said angrily, "Yao Yao, why were you killed?" Tang Yao Yao, who was resurrected at the altar, said aggrievedly, "Master, I didn't expect this." "Xiao He, did the 3 of them arrest you?" Yi Junlin asked. Big Mushroom King responded quickly, "Yes, they cooperate very well, we can't escape at all." Hearing this, Yi Junlin's eyes showed strong interest. "It's a bit interesting. It seems that I can play with him this time." After easily taking down 2 heads, Bai Wuya and Hu Jia both advanced to the 3rd level. Immortal, the opponent's level is really good. They were very proud and felt more and more that the other side was nothing more than this. The immortal ancestor said calmly, "First clear the line of troops, and then go to the wild area to fight the sandstorm dragon. As long as you capture this small dragon, there will be additional bonus effects, which will be more conducive to the subsequent tower push operation. We must win this round quickly." The previous experience made the ancestor of Changsheng determined in his heart that Yi Junlin and others were very poor and had no tactics or awareness at all. In this way, he can better lead the team step by step, establish a huge advantage in the early stage, and then win the game and enter the finals. Chapter 473. C474 The advantage of taking the dragon. The sandstorm earth dragon is a special species in the wild area of the Supreme Canyon. It will become higher every once in a while, and it will slowly refresh after being killed. Many novices don't know its function at all, but Changsheng Laozu is different. He is a frequent visitor to the Supreme Canyon, so he naturally knows the information of each wild monster. The benefit of killing the sandstorm earth dragon is that it can increase the attack and defense of your own personnel by 30% for half an hour. What is this concept? Both his team and the water warriors can enjoy this amplification aura. Therefore, he can use this information gap to take down the sandstorm earth dragon early and establish a huge advantage for his team. In the dense jungle, the sun shines through the branches and leaves. After killing the wild monster, Yi Junlin successfully upgraded to the 2nd level and obtained a super talent card. Interesting, Yi Junlin's eyes flashed with a strange color. Because the characteristics of this super talent card are that the damage of each active move is increased by 100,000 times. Note that the damage of the active move is increased by 100,000 times, which means that it has nothing to do with ordinary attacks. But even so, it is very scary. It can be said that one skill can cause explosive damage. Especially the 3rd skill, Sword Chi Field, has a wide range. Just thinking about it makes me look forward to it. Haha, it's time to go to the middle lane to get back at the place. Yi Junlin moved and dodged. After reaching the 2nd level, the first thing he did was to go to the middle lane to settle accounts with the mage. He wanted to teach the opponent a lesson with one sword. At the same time, because of the level advantage, Zhou Chu suppressed Kanglang Jun in the middle lane, causing Kanglang Jun to be unable to even get out of the defense tower and was forced to shrink and defend the tower with difficulty. Kill. A large group of water warriors held spears, and the spears burst into blue light and hit the tower statue. Boom boom boom, the whole towering tower statue was shaking wildly, fine cracks appeared all over the body, and small stones fell one after another. There was blood at the corner of Kanglang Jun's mouth. While he was carefully clearing the soldiers, he paid attention to Zhou Chu's movements, always on guard against the opponent's strong killing across the tower. Zhou Chu was in a powerful posture, staring at the other party with a fierce look, sneering. "You are still thinking about defending the tower after all this? You look down on me, right?" Now he is at the 3rd level, and he just beat Kanglang Jun to a low health, so his intention to kill him by crossing the tower is obvious. HMPH, what do you know? Kanglang Jun straightened his back and gritted his teeth. "The man is here, the tower is here." Seeing this, Zhou Chu was stunned for a moment, and laughed in anger. "The man is here, the tower is here, then I can't justify not killing you." Swish! A large group of dark purple light like a nebula flew away, containing the power to shatter mountains. "Come on," Kanglang Jun roared, and the sage book in his hand quickly turned the pages, bursting out with brilliant and boundless golden light. Boom! A dull explosion. He vomited blood, retreated several feet, and his own state became even more sluggish. Go to hell! Zhou Chu's eyes were fierce, and he wanted to cross the tower directly and kill Kanglang Jun by force. "Wait, your opponent is me." Just at this moment, a handsome guy with a shamat hairstyle came out from the bushes next to him, holding a sword in his hand. "It's you." Zhou Chu almost laughed when he saw Yi Junlin. "Very good, since you want to die, I will help you first." He felt that Yi Junlin was only a second-level player and was not to be feared at all. Sword edged on. Swish, Yi Junlin took the lead in drawing his sword, and a terrifying white sword energy came to Zhou Chu like a raging sea, carrying the sound of breaking wind. Zhou Chu's heart was shocked. Why did this sword energy suddenly give him a feeling of facing death? Impossible. This is just a sword move. Magic light flash. He formed seals with both hands, and a blazing black energy shock wave burst out, colliding with the huge white sword energy. Chi-chi-chi. The sharp sound of tearing cloth was ringing. In Zhou Chu's unbelievable eyes, the energy shock wave was split into two, and the powerful sword energy quickly came in front of him, containing a terrifying sense of oppression. Ah! A shrill scream sounded. Zhou Chu was drowned by the sword energy and turned into nothing. In the face of the sword moves that were 100,000 times more powerful, all his resistance seemed futile. Senior Yi, Kanglang Jun looked excited, because he knew that the next step was the official takeoff stage, and the previous humiliation was worth it. Give me this wave of soldiers, do you have any objection? Yi Junlin said so, but he was already working on clearing the soldiers in the middle. Give it to you, all for you, Kanglang Jun smiled, and his smile came from the heart. Anyway, as long as he fed this man, he would win later, and he could tell which was more important. Congratulations to Wudi How Lonely for successfully killing Mr. Zhou. Closing square bracket. The prompt sound of the canyon sounded. The three people who were focusing on besieging the sandstorm dragon felt incredible. Fellow Taoist Zhou, what's wrong with you? You were killed by that kind of guy in the middle lane. Bai Wuya asked remotely while slashing at the sandstorm dragon with a long-range voice transmission. Yeah, didn't you say that Wudi Hao Ji was a rookie? How did you die at the hands of a rookie? Hu Jia asked puzzledly. Zhou Chu, who was in the resurrection stage, cried out in frustration, what can I do? He killed me in 1 second with just one sword move. The damage is simply explosive. You mean, you were instantly killed by the other party's skill? The immortal ancestor was shocked and asked quickly. That's right, just one skill, Zhou Chu said. This. Everyone was surprised. Immortal, what's going on? Asked his teammates. The immortal ancestor's eyebrows were twitching, his eyes were constantly changing, and he thought of many things in an instant. Even Zhou Chu was killed instantly with one move, but what about them? The opponent's skill damage is so high, there must be some top talent card to support it. This means that this person's combat power is far ahead. Capture this little dragon, and then quickly push the tower. We need to set a good rhythm in the early stage. This is the key to victory. The immortal ancestor said in a deep voice. A sense of urgency began to emerge in his heart. Roar! In a huge pit, there is a sandstorm dragon that looks like a lizard, with a back covered with hard spines, brown scales covering the whole body, and thick and powerful limbs, emitting bursts of sound waves that look like substance. Under the siege of 3 people, there were more scars all over its body, and its breath became weaker and weaker. Even so, a ball of light burst out from the sandstorm earth dragon's eyes, and countless gravels lingered all over its body, forming a huge sandstorm, and it was about to launch a ferocious charge towards the 3 ancestors of immortality. This is a passive skill that will only be triggered when life is in danger. Be careful, it's coming. Bai Wuya was frightened. Draw the ground as a prison. The immortal ancestor used his second active move, holding the judge's pen to draw in the void, and a dazzling light ball burst out from the tip of the pen. Whoa! A black circle formed around the sandstorm earth dragon, effectively restricting its movements. After the sandstorm earth dragon's collision failed, it quickly fell into decline. Now, Bai Wuya and Hu Jia seized the opportunity and exploded with output. Boom! The sandstorm earth dragon, covered in blood, finally couldn't hold on any longer and fell to the ground helplessly, turning into dots of starlight. Aha! At this moment, the immortal ancestor and his entire team received an amplification effect, including every water tribe warrior. The attack power and defense power are increased by 30%, lasting for half an hour. Grab the bottom lane and push the tower. Yes. On the other side of the bottom lane, the water tribe and fire tribe teams were fighting each other. The water tribe warriors who received the bonus were very powerful. Their spearheads were wrapped in blue light and they killed the fire tribe warriors one after another. The 2 groups of people were originally evenly matched, but due to the surge and strength of the water tribe, the fire tribe's team quickly collapsed and was quickly wiped out. For the tribe, the water tribe warriors held spears in their hands, stepped over the corpses everywhere, and rushed towards the defense tower aggressively. As soon as Tang Yao Yao and Big Mushroom King came to the tower, a group of brave water tribe warriors came face to face. Boom boom boom, The tower-like statue shook violently and was teetering. Tang Immortal, why do I feel that these soldiers have become much more powerful? Big Mushroom King asked in surprise. Tang Yaoyao was also surprised. I don't know, let's clean them up quickly. Immediately, the two launched an attack to destroy this group of Water Tribe warriors. The strange thing is that Tang Yaoyao and Big Mushroom King began to feel extremely strenuous and felt that every Water Tribe warrior was more difficult to kill. Suddenly, three figures rushed out from the grass and entered the range of the defense tower. Hey, we meet again. Bai Wuya and Hu Jia sneered, activating their skills to greet each other. Why are you here again? Tang Yaoyao was so angry that she wanted to cry, and she quickly retreated while fighting. Run, Big Mushroom King said anxiously. Draw the ground as a prison. The immortal ancestor raised the judge pen and drew a circle in the air. Suddenly, a circle enveloped the two of them, forming a cage that restricted their range of activities. After a while, Tang Yaoyao and Damo Wang were killed under the tower. This time he died more cleanly, leaving no room for resistance. Immediately afterwards, the crumbling tower-like statue was blown up, and the remaining water warriors continued to move forward, aiming for the next defense tower. The sound of being killed sounded. Luo Qingwu was very depressed. Yao Yao, don't give up your life in the bottom lane. Tang Yaoyao was about to cry but had no tears. No, master, we didn't kill anyone intentionally. Our opponent was too strong. Yes, I feel that the opponent's strength has improved a lot. King Mushroom said. It seems to be true. Even the small soldiers are very powerful. How did they do it? Kanglang Jun, who was clearing the soldiers in the middle, asked in surprise. Hear the words. Yi Junlin frowned and thought of a possibility based on his past life experience. That is, the opponent should hit a wild monster with a group buff bonus, in order to obtain such a considerable increase effect. It's troublesome now, they are going to continue to tear down the tower on the road. Tang Yaoyao said anxiously. Don't worry, I'll go there. Yi Junlin quickly shuttled through the jungle, the long sword in his hand flashing with cold light. The level above his head shows that it is already level 4. The characteristics of the two extra super talent cards are to increase one's own dodge rate by 100% and to be immune to all negative effects. Hurry up and demolish the tower. The immortal ancestor on the bottom road said seriously. He must race against time to lead his troops to the high ground and demolish the last enemy defense tower. But what the immortal ancestor doesn't know is that the biggest threat is quietly coming at this moment. Dollar window. Underscore tabula equals window. Underscore tabula. Push mode, thumbs feed 01, container, tabula below article thumbnail, 300 times 250 feet, placement, below article thumbnail 300 times 250 feet, target underscore type, mix. Chapter 474. C475 Is this the absolute power? The three led the aquatic team to advance in the lower lane. After reaching the second tower statue, they immediately launched a fierce attack. Boom boom boom, with the amplification effect, the speed of demolishing the tower can be said to be very fast. As the saying goes, there is strength in numbers. The entire tower statue was soon riddled with holes, and countless pieces of rubble fell. Bang! The explosion sounded, the second defense tower was blown up, and the only one left in the lower lane was the last one on the high ground. Haha, let's go straight to the high ground and push down the crystal. Bai Wuya was very excited, and felt like a triumphant victory. The ancestor of longevity raised his eyebrows, and for some reason, his heart was alarmed and a little scared. Just as they were approaching the high ground, a clear voice sounded from behind. Stop, you have been surrounded by me. Who? Everyone turned around vigilantly, and after seeing the figure clearly, their expressions suddenly became dull. The awesome, shamat, hairstyle and the face that looks like it deserves a beating, the eyes that seem sharp but are actually wise, have an indescribable sense of sarcasm, and just standing there is very hateful. There are 5 big words on the top of the head, invincible and lonely. It's you. Hu Jia held the soul spear, a trace of cold sweat on his forehead, and gritted his teeth. The ancestor of longevity frowned and silently retreated behind the crowd. Go. Hearing this order, Bai Wuya and Hu Jia did not dare to disobey, so they had to bite the bullet and kill Yi Junlin. Slash the waves. Bai Wuya held the sword and tentatively cut out a sword aura, which was powerful and left deep marks on the ground. Swoosh, Yi Junlin easily avoided it, and then performed the move of sword edge breaking dawn. Swish, a huge white sword energy instantly took shape and shattered the void. Not good. Bai Wuya was the first to bear the brunt, and quickly swung his sword to create a wind wall about 2 meters wide. This wind wall is very special. According to the rules, it can offset all flying objects. This includes various long-range skills. As a result, when this white sword energy encountered the wind wall, it was indescribably distorted. The remaining sword energy burst out through the wind wall and hit Bai Wuya heavily. Bai Wuya was stabbed like a hornet's nest and was covered in blood. He fell to the ground limply without a breath. How is it possible? Chang Sheng Laozu widened his eyes. He knew that Bai Wuya's skill could resist all flying objects, including sword energy. This is the rule of the Supreme Canyon, which cannot be broken. However, the scene that happened just now directly overturned his cognition. Even the wind wall could not block that sword energy. What he didn't know was that after all of Yi Junline's active moves were amplified by 100,000 times, their power had already surpassed all rules. From a certain perspective, it was a dimensionality reduction attack, so even the characteristics of the wind wall could not completely intercept it. Swish, swish, swish. Soul spears were thrown out one after another, with the sound of breaking wind. Hu Jia moved and shot at the same time, very smooth and flexible. But Yi Junline's dodge rate reached 100%, and the phantom sword dance he performed could disperse multiple phantoms, causing Hu Jia to be unable to hit the target at all. Damn it, why can't I hit you? Hu Jia was shocked and angry. He didn't hit the target for a long time, which made him feel frustrated that he was being fooled. The reason is very simple. You can't. Yi Junline circled around him as fast as a ghost, and the sharp sword body quickly passed through his body, spurting out foamy blood. Hu Jia was covered with scars, like a beast roaring helplessly. Chang Sheng Laozu was secretly shocked. He saw that every skill of Yi Junline was fatal, but fortunately, ordinary attacks were within the normal range. Water Ink Green Mountain. At this time, the ancestor of longevity launched a big move, holding the judge's pen and quickly painting in the air. The ink like a river meandered away and turned into a majestic mountain. The towering mountain burst into a green glow and instantly enveloped Yi Junline's head. It can bring 80% weakness and slowdown, which lasts for half a minute. However, the third super talent card selected by Yi Junline has the characteristic of being immune to all negative effects, so the skill of Water Ink Green Mountain is directly useless. When seeing that Yi Junline is still alive, the ancestor of longevity was dumbfounded. Why doesn't it work? Eternal life, run! Hu Jia shouted at the top of his lungs, and his health bar was cleared, and his whole body turned into light spots and dissipated. It can be seen that you are the core of the team. Yi Junline came with a sword, and said meaningfully, you set the pace. There is something. The scalp of Changsheng Patriarch was numb, as this absolute power. He suddenly recalled the absolute power that the opponent said before the start of the game. At first, he didn't take it seriously and thought it was nonsense, but now seeing Yi Junline so invincible, his belief was greatly shaken. Draw the ground as a prison. Changsheng Patriarch gritted his teeth and used this skill. Swish, a circle formed on the ground around Yi Junline, forming a cage-like space. Yi Junline found that he couldn't rush out, so he just used his ultimate move. Sword opens the sky gate. Boom, a terrifyingly powerful sword light flew out, forcibly breaking through the shackles of the prison, and killed most of the Water Tribe warriors in front. You don't run. Yi Junline's eyes flashed with a strange color. I saw that Changsheng Laozu did not take the opportunity to escape, but had already rushed into the tower-like statue on the high ground and attacked desperately. Even if there were only a few remaining Water Tribe warriors, they could cause some damage to this defense tower, not to mention the help of Changsheng Laozu. I definitely can't escape, it's better to tear down this tower. Changsheng Laozu was surprisingly calm. Do you think I will let you do what you want? Yi Junline sneered and decisively displayed the sword energy field. Swish swish swish, a sword energy field was formed under the tower on the high ground, and Changsheng Laozu and his soldiers were destroyed in an instant. No, before Changsheng Laozu died, he looked at the health bar of the defense tower in front of him, and when there was only a little blood left, his eyes were full of grief and anger. Why is it stuck here? Why? Finally, with that unwilling emotion, Changsheng Laozu turned into a light spot and disappeared in the air. Only the dilapidated and crumbling tower-like statue remained, as if silently telling the thrill just now. Congratulations to Wudi Haoji for completing a triple kill. Closing square bracket. The canyon prompt sounded. Both camps exploded in an instant. Senior Yi is so powerful and invincible. Kanglang Jun immediately flattered him. Great, Senior Yi helped us get revenge. Tang Yaoyao said happily. The problem is that we were pushed all the way to the high ground. The opponent is really good. Luo Qingwu said. Yi Junline said seriously. Everyone pay attention, that Changsheng Bumi is probably an old player, we must not take it lightly. Obviously, the unexpected performance of Changsheng Laozu made him feel a rare sense of danger. On the other hand, the opponent was gloomy. Being blood-bathed in the bottom lane made by Wuya and Hu Jia feel heavy, and their belief in victory suffered a major blow. Too strong, he killed me in one move, how can we fight? Hey, we are going to lose this game. The Changsheng Patriarch looked ugly and was in a mess. I thought that he could easily win the final victory like the previous 3 times when the Supreme Secret Realm was opened. However, the appearance of Yi Junlin broke his beautiful fantasy and made him feel unprecedentedly difficult. The opponent was like a nail, nailed to his heart. It was very uncomfortable, but things have come to this point. In order to get the highest ranking, he must win this duel. The Changsheng Patriarch forced himself to adjust his mood and said in a deep voice, "Don't be discouraged. Remember that this is a competition about team competition. Team cooperation is very important. Moreover, this is essentially a tower-pushing game. Even if he is unparalleled in combat power, as long as we explode their crystals, victory belongs to us." Hearing this, everyone's eyes lit up. Yes, this is essentially a tower-pushing game. As long as they push down the crystals on the high ground, they will win. Friend Bai, you will be responsible for stealing the tower next. I don't need to explain the process, but be careful to hide your whereabouts. Changsheng Patriarch said seriously. Yes, Bai Wuya said. Changsheng Patriarch seemed to have thought of something, his eyes flashed. I remember that the shadow dragon in the wild area should appear at this time, right? We will take the opportunity to take it down later. I don't believe the opponent can stop it. Chapter 475. C476 God's Perspective. Aha! After taking 3 kills, Yi Junlin was promoted to level 5 in a short while. This is. Yi Junlin selected a talent card, which was undoubtedly a super grade card, but this time the characteristics of the card were so special that even he was a little surprised. The function of this super talent card is different from the pure attribute bonus in the past. Instead, it can directly open the God's perspective and observe the opponent's every move in the Supreme Canyon. In other words, he could clearly see the actions of the 5 people opposite him in the Supreme Canyon. This is very cool. Any actions taken by the enemy behind him will be invisible to him. Haha, it's getting more and more interesting now. Yi Junlin had a playful smile on his lips. He wanted to see what trick the other side wanted to play next. In the middle, Zhou Chu felt aggrieved under the tower. He could obviously hang up Kanglang Jun on the opposite side and beat him, but due to Yi Junlin's power, he did not dare to leave the tower without permission for fear of being caught. Now, it's Kanglang Zhengshang's turn. At this moment, he unscrupulously led his troops to press the tower, shouting, "Wasn't it awesome before? Come on, I'll stand here. Come and kill me if you want." Zhou Chu was trembling with anger. "You bitch, don't be too arrogant, don't force me to come out and kill you. You're such a coward, you still dare to utter arrogant words, I'll give you a hand, do you dare to come out and challenge me?" Lord Kanglang said scornfully. Faced with successive provocations, Zhou Chu was so filled with anger that he had no way to vent. Anger finally defeated reason, and he growled with a ferocious face, "You are looking for death." Immediately, he rushed out of the defense tower and chased Kanglang Jun aggressively. However, at this moment, a murderous figure emerged from the grass in the river and said hello with a smile. "Hello, we meet again." Hiss. Zhou Chu was so frightened that his heart almost stopped. He looked like an ordinary person who had seen a ghost. The hair on his body stood on end. He turned around and ran back to the tower. Aha! A white sword energy that was like a huge wave struck the sky, ripples appeared in the void along the way. No! Zhou Chu screamed in horror. He tried every means, but couldn't stop it. This is absolute power. Congratulations to Wudi How Lonely for successfully killing Mr. Zhou. Close black lens bracket. The canyon's beep sounded. Tisk, tisk, let you run out blindly. Looking at the severed corpse, Kanglang Jun shook his head. Yi Junlin said, "Xiao Dezi, you continue to push the tower in the middle." Yes. Lord Kanglang puffed up his chest and said solemnly. Then, he saw Yi Junlin take out a teleportation scroll, inject mana into it and activate it, and his body disappeared in the envelope of light. Why did Senior Yi choose to return to the city? Seeing this scene, Kanglang Jun was very confused. At the same time, after being killed in the middle lane, Zhou Chu reported the situation angrily. "Everyone, invincible loneliness appears in the middle lane. You can steal as much as you like from the defense towers on the high ground in the lower lane." "Copy that, I'm on my way." On the other side, Bai Wuya moved elegantly through the jungle, quickly heading towards his destination. The defensive tower on the high ground in the bottom lane was just a little bit away from collapsing. He could forcefully demolish the tower even without the help of troops. But the prerequisite is that no one will notice, so we have to act secretly. Now the most terrifying opponent is wandering in the middle. He can seize this opportunity and give the defense tower a fatal blow. Almost there, Bai Wuya crossed the wild area and sprinted with all his strength with his sword in hand. All he could see was the ruined tower-like statue. His mission is to dismantle it and escape in style. When he was less than 5 meters away from the defense tower, Yi Junlin strolled out of it with a playful smile on his face. Hey, what a coincidence. Bai Wuya's eyes almost burst out as he blurted out. Fuck, he couldn't understand why Yi Junlin appeared here. Shouldn't he be in the middle? Is it a coincidence or was it predicted in advance? So what if you are here? My mission is to demolish the tower, even if I risk my life. As his thoughts turned, Bai Wuya's figure stagnated for a moment, and then suddenly burst out with a surge of momentum, and the sword in his hand was filled with terrifying arrogance. I want to demolish the tower. His face was full of ferocity, and he roared hysterically, as if he was sending the strongest voice to the unfair fate. Something's wrong. Yi Junlin was speechless and swung his sword forward to slash out a shocking sword energy. Bai Wuya died. Looking at the dying figure, Yi Junlin shook his head. Hey, if you don't do something, you won't die. As early as in the middle, he had already seen from God's perspective that Bai Wuya was moving secretly in the wild area, approaching the defense tower on the high ground. Therefore, he simply teleported back to the city and waited in advance for Bai Wuya to come and kill him. Let me see what other tricks you have behind you. Yi Junlin's eyes flashed, and a 3-dimensional holographic map appeared in his eyes, and he could even directly see the altar opposite. At this time, he saw 4 other figures gathering at a secret location in the wild area, as if they were waiting for something in advance. Such an unusual scene made Yi Junlin feel inexplicably familiar. Are you going to gather to fight the dragon? Thinking of this, the corner of his mouth raised a subtle arc. Haha, then I have to join in the fun. At this time, Bai Wuya, who was in the resurrection stage at the altar, said angrily, everyone, that Wudi How Lonely must have guessed that I would go to steal the tower, so he was guarding there in advance. On the other side, Chang Sheng Laozu frowned. It seems that this person's consciousness is stronger than I thought. Damn it, because of him, our game is so difficult. The other 3 teammates said angrily. Boom, in the abyss in front of them, a rolling black gas suddenly emerged, and a huge monster with a pitch-black body flew out. The wings that covered the sky and the sun were flapping, and the hard and cold dragon scales covered the whole body. The mighty and ferocious dragon head, with blood-red eyes like the sea, opened its bloody mouth and made a deafening roar. Roar, everyone's eardrums swelled and their heads were splitting. The shadow dragon is out. Chang Sheng Laozu was not afraid, but excited. Because he knew that this was the key point for him to turn the tide of the battle. As long as you can defeat the Shadow Dragon, you will get a certain group bonus, which is much greater than the previous Sandstorm Dragon. At that time, it will be even easier to push the tower. Fight for me, time is running out, and the ancestor of longevity immediately gave orders. Boom 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 boom, the 4 people used all their skills to attack the Shadow Dragon. There were bursts of light at the scene, and the energy flow was like a hurricane. Roar, blood began to seep out of the Shadow Dragon's body. It opened its huge mouth in extreme anger and sprayed out black light balls, blasting deep pits of different sizes on the ground, causing smoke and dust to roll and rivers to hang upside down. Flanking attack, pay attention to avoid. The ancestor of longevity calmly commanded the battle, and by the way used the ultimate move Ink and Green Mountain to weaken the state of the Shadow Dragon. The blood bar displayed on the top of the Shadow Dragon's head was visibly reduced. When the blood bar dropped to half, the Shadow Dragon's eyes burst into fierce light, and the body showed signs of turning. Be careful, it's going to swing its tail. As an old player, Chang Sheng Laozu knew every move of the Shadow Dragon clearly. Thanks to Chang Sheng Laozu's reminder, everyone reacted in time and avoided the Shadow Dragon's powerful and deadly swing. If it hits, it will probably be seriously injured and have little health. Dao Yu Zhou, it's going to charge and hit you. Get out of the way. Chang Sheng Laozu saw the clue again and said in a deep voice. Zhou Chu, who joined the team after resurrection, jumped and dodged without hesitation. Sure enough, the Shadow Dragon swooped down quickly, like a cannonball hitting the ground and raising a huge smoke. Everyone, hurry up, Chang Sheng Laozu urged. It must be said that with such a hardcore player in charge, it is much easier to fight the big dragon. Just follow the instructions without thinking, and you can get twice the result with half the effort. As the blood bar on the top of the shadow dragon is losing blood crazily, this battle is about to come to an end. Outside, Kanglang Jun and his companions were very surprised as to why they had not seen the other side for so long. Could it be that their mentality had exploded and they did not want to play anymore? It's almost done, it's almost dead. Everyone, try harder. Changsheng Laozu's eyes were red and his emotions were getting more and more excited. The shadow dragon was covered with wounds and blood, and its breath was extremely weak. In the end, it lay on the ground powerlessly, allowing the 4 people to attack. Just when the blood bar was about to be cleared, a clear voice sounded out of place, "I'll take this big dragon." A Shamat youth appeared from the other side with a sword in his hand. His arrival immediately made the 4 people confused. Damn, why is this guy here? Could it be that he just happened to come to kill the dragon? Our luck is too bad. When seeing Yi Junlin appear, Changsheng Laozu's eyes showed a trace of panic, and he hurriedly shouted, "Quick, kill the dragon quickly, don't let this guy snatch it away." Sword opens the gate of heaven. To ensure that there is no mistake, Yi Junlin directly uses the big move. Rumble, a white sword light that covers the sky is like a galaxy hanging, and waves of sword energy are like pillars, with infinite power. Roar, the shadow dragon, which was already seriously injured and dying, was chopped into ashes by this terrifying sword light. Swish, a strange light appeared around Yi Junlin, as if he had gained some kind of power increase. At the same time, his own camp, including the soldiers, were blessed. Attack power, defense power, and movement speed were all increased by 60%. At this moment, the whole audience was silent. Everyone was stunned in place, their heads buzzing. The old ancestor Changsheng felt as if his heart was bleeding, and murmured, "It's over, the dragon was robbed." Window. _tabula equals window. _tabula. Push mode. Thumb speed 01. Container. Tabula below article thumbnail, 300 × 250 feet. Placement, below article thumbnail 300 × 250 feet, target _type, mix. Chapter 476. C477 lost miserably. Faced with this cruel reality, Changsheng Laozu was in so much pain that he could hardly breathe. He stretched out his fingers tremblingly, as if he was looking at the murderer of his father. Kill him for me." The other 3 teammates looked at each other, and the expressions on their faces seemed to be asking, "Can we really do it? No, let's retreat quickly. Quick." In just a moment, Changsheng Laozu got rid of his anger. He was scared in his heart. He was really blinded by anger just now and actually issued such a suicidal order. Hearing this, everyone quickly separated and fled. "Stay here." Yi Junlin sneered and sacrificed a large-scale sword energy field. Anyone who was slightly touched by the sword energy would die on the spot. Ah! Screams rang out one after another. The other 3 teammates died one after another. Only Changsheng Laozu was far away and luckily escaped from the sword energy field. He gritted his teeth and fled in the jungle. "Can you escape?" Looking at the receding figure, Yi Junlin's figure shot out like an arrow, leaving a blurry afterimage along the way. With a 60% speed bonus, he couldn't fail to catch up with the Changsheng Patriarch. The sound of the wind behind him was extremely sharp, and the Changsheng Patriarch was frightened and his scalp was numb, and all kinds of thoughts flashed through his mind. Finally, he gritted his teeth, and when he was close to the towering stone wall, he took out the yellow talisman and injected mana, and his whole body disappeared in an instant. Flash through the wall. Yi Junlin thought of this possibility. It seems that the yellow talisman is also an item given by the talent card. But the most urgent thing is to quickly step over and kill the target. In an instant, Yi Junlin jumped high, flew to the top of the stone wall like a rock spreading its wings, and then slid down like clouds and water, continuing to chase and kill the Changsheng Patriarch. Result: after Yi Junlin left, in the bushes dozens of meters away from the original location where Changsheng Laozu disappeared, there was a figure holding his breath, lurking in the dark like an old turtle. It was a close call. It seems that my bet was right. Hiding in the bushes, holding the teleportation scroll, Changsheng Laozu had a relieved smile on his face. That's right, the yellow talisman just now was indeed an item given by a top-grade talent card, which can be used once every 20 minutes. Seeing that there was no hope of escape, he simply approached the stone wall and deliberately made a move to flash through the wall, so that he could confuse Yi Junlin and give up the search for the nearby area. Damn it, I didn't expect that the big dragon was robbed in the end. What should I do now? Changsheng Laozu thought of the current situation, his heart was blocked and panicked, and he sighed helplessly, Hey, I'll go back and make other plans. Just as he was about to teleport back to the city, a snow-white sword energy like a waterfall came in an instant. What? The eyes of Changsheng Patriarch flashed with white light, and his expression of disbelief froze. Boom! The bush exploded, and smoke and dust rolled. When the smoke cleared, Changsheng Patriarch's figure had disappeared. Congratulations to Wudi Haojimo for successfully killing Changsheng Bumi. Closing square bracket. The canyon prompt sounded. Yi Junlin, who had returned, stood with a sword, his eyes revealing a playful look. What a pity, just a little bit short. To be fair, Changsheng Patriarch did it perfectly, without revealing any flaws, and anyone else would have been fooled. But he never thought that Yi Junlin could open the god's perspective and see everyone's location through the holographic three-dimensional map. This is also the fundamental reason why Yi Junlin went back. Why is this happening? On the altar, Changsheng Patriarch, who was in the resurrection period, was shocked, and obviously had not recovered from the change that had just happened. This time the big dragon was robbed, and 4 of us died again. It was really a complete defeat. Zhou Chu was dejected, and his confidence fell to the bottom. Hu Jia sighed deeply. Think about it, at least we have come this far, and according to rumors, there are also generous rewards. That's right. The teammates around him nodded. Shut up. Hearing this, Changsheng Laozu seemed to be greatly stimulated, and suddenly became furious, roaring, we must win the final victory. We must not stop here. Ah. His crazy look scared everyone. Changsheng, you. At this moment, Changsheng Laozu realized that he had lost his composure, and quickly adjusted his state, saying in a low voice, we still have a chance. What chance? Everyone was puzzled. Don't forget, Bai Daoyu has been resurrected, and he is leading the troops in the bottom lane. You mean? That's right. The old ancestor of longevity narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice, I said that this is essentially a tower-pushing game. As long as we blow up the enemy's crystal, we can win. Bai Daoyu, I'll leave everything to you. You are our last hope. In the bottom lane, Bai Wuya set out on the journey again, leading the troops to drive straight in. With a nervous and expectant mood, he went straight to the dilapidated defense tower on the high ground. He suddenly realized the essence of stealing the tower. No matter how the outside changes, it can't stop him from stealing the tower. The opponent has already grabbed the big dragon, and will definitely gather in the middle lane for a wave of pushing. At this time, absolutely no one thought that I would come back and continue to steal the tower along the bottom lane. With the help of the troops, it's easy to blow up the crystal. Everyone, please give your hope to me, I will lead you to victory. In the middle lane at this time, the people who were blessed by the dragon simply pushed all the way to the high ground, and wanted to blow up the energy crystal in one go. Both sides were racing against time. Bang! Bai Wuya blew up the defense tower with low health, and entered the high ground with the soldiers in a menacing manner, aiming at the energy crystal of the Fire Clan. Victory is just around the corner. Bai Wuya rushed forward with a sword in hand. At this time, a familiar figure walked out of the altar with a friendly smile on his face. What a coincidence, we meet again. Boom! Bai Wuya was struck by lightning and was forced to stop in place. His passion turned into cold ice, and his whole body was cold and frozen to the bone. You, what are you doing? His expression was like a fool, and his hand holding the sword was shaking. Why, do you have to come at this time? I beg you to be kind and give me a chance. Why don't you run? Yi Junlin had a playful look on his face, raising his sword above his head to cut it off. I'll run a few times. Will it work? Bai Wuya's mentality exploded. He knew that he had completely lost this time and there was no room for recovery. Oh, goodbye. Yi Junlin followed the routine and swung his sword to cut off a surging sword energy. The sword energy was as mighty as a Category 12 hurricane. Boom boom boom. The next second, Bai Wuya and his troops were destroyed. Looking at the extra resurrected figures on the altar, the expressions of the other 4 people were very exciting. Bai Wuya was ashamed and lowered his head and said, I'm sorry, I was caught by Wudi How Lonely again. He had been waiting there for me to fall into the trap. It's him again. Changsheng Laozu was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood, and his heart was dead. In this round of duel, the opponent was like a god who was omnipotent, and all their efforts were destined to be in vain. Any tactics and playing style were useless in front of him. Lost, completely lost. At this moment, Changsheng Patriarch smiled bitterly, feeling extremely sad, and cried out, it's time, it's fate. Losing this duel means that he has no chance to win the championship, and he has used up 4 chances, so he is not qualified to enter the Supreme Secret Realm again. The immortal Tao fruit has been away from him from now on, and it can only be an unrealistic fantasy to condense 30 million laws. Quick, explode the crystal, Kanglang Jun said excitedly. Luo Qingwu took the opportunity to come to the altar, looking at the 5 figures that had not yet solidified, with an arrogant look on her waist, and said proudly, after all the trouble, didn't you lose to us? Everyone looked ugly. We lost to Wudi and were so lonely, what does it have to do with you? Can you stop flattering yourself? Luo Qingwu's eyes turned to Changsheng Patriarch again, and he said, Changsheng Bumi, you must be in a bad mood now. It's okay, you keep coming next time, we promise not to compete with you. She didn't know the other party's true identity outside. Just like Changsheng Laozu didn't know the identity of the fox girl in front of him in the real world. However, when he saw the shameless name above Luo Qingwu's head and the style she showed, Changsheng Laozu felt a little familiar for a while. But due to the situation, he didn't think much about it. In the end, he watched the energy crystal being blown up in despair. So far, this game has come to an end. The team led by Yi Junlin is about to enter the final battle. Chapter 477. C478 Oops, I met a brainless fan. In the outside world, the monks who witnessed the entire showdown felt a sense of sadness. Sure enough, in the face of absolute power, all tactics are useless. Brother Invincible is still as fierce as ever. No matter how many tricks the opponent tries, he will eventually defeat him. Everyone, I feel a little sympathy for the opponent, especially the trialist named Immortal. He is really trying hard to save the situation. It's a pity. Hey, I can only say that he is unlucky to meet an opponent like Brother Invincible. Actually, there is no invincible brother, and there is also the trialer called the Invincible Emperor. If he encounters him, he will still be tortured miserably. That's right, this is life. Now that Invincible Brother has ended the duel, I can finally meet the Invincible Emperor. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to their meeting. Which one is better, the Invincible Brother, or the Invincible Emperor? There was overwhelming discussion, very intense. At this time, countless lines of sight focused on the same very large picture. With much anticipation, a suspenseful battle to win the championship begins. Open black lens bracket. Welcome to the Supreme Canyon. Close black lens bracket. A majestic sound sounded in everyone's mind, and 5 more figures appeared on the altars on both sides. It's finally the last round. It's not easy, Yi Junlin sighed. Well, hearing this, Lord Kanglang and the others looked strange. What's not easy for you? To say it is not easy, it should be the opponents in each round. I guess I was tortured to the point of wanting to die by you, leaving a serious psychological shadow from now on. Wow, there is actually a trialist named Undefeated Emperor on the opposite side. This name is more majestic than you, Senior Yi. Tang Yaoyao opened the interface to check and said in surprise. How dare someone call themselves the Great Emperor? Lord Kanglang looked strange. In this world, only those who have reached the realm of Immortal Emperor are qualified to be called the Great Emperor. That guy opposite is so ignorant and fearless. In his opinion, the Supreme Secret Realm only allows creatures below the Immortal Emperor level to participate, so it feels ridiculous for the trialist named the Undefeated Emperor to have such a nickname. That's what I said, but fellow Taoist Yi also calls himself Emperor Yi Tian. I think this is much louder than the name of the Great Emperor. Luo Qingwu blinked her beautiful eyes and teased. How can this be the same? What kind of person is Senior Yi? He certainly deserves this title. And does that guy deserve it? How many does he deserve? Lord Kanglang suddenly became excited and seemed to be hurriedly expressing his stance. Luo Qingwu, you old boy, are you so protective of the Lord? Whatever name I choose is a personal preference. If I can fight all the way here, there must be a few brushes on the opposite side. I hope it can add some fun to me next. Yi Junlin chuckled. All troops attack. A large number of Fire Tribe warriors rushed out from the energy crystal, and the teams marched along 3 routes, majestic and spectacular in scale. Let's go. Yi Junlin is walking with a sword in hand, his sword flying in the wind, giving him an unusual and unrestrained look. The 5 people followed the previous practice and acted separately. At the same time, a man wearing a jet black dragon robe and an imperial crown on his head was walking in the middle with a very powerful posture. Thinking that this was the last round, Tong Wudi's eyes showed excitement, and he was looking forward to it in his heart. After all, it's the finals. There must be a strong opponent, right? I don't want to be as cruel as before. It's so easy from beginning to end, but it's boring. In the first few rounds of duels, he dominated the field. Even if the opponents were grouped together, he would kill them all. It was interesting at first, but after several consecutive rounds, it became a bit boring. Therefore, Tong Wudi hopes that in this final battle, the opponent can give him a little more strength. It would be better to make it more difficult for him to win and have a feeling of savoring it afterwards. It can be seen from this that Tong Wudi is confident that he will win. He can only win, not lose. Because he is Tong Wudi, the son of destiny in the immortal world, and a being valued by the heaven in this world. Walking to the tower in the middle, two figures looked at each other from a distance. Haha, are you worthy of this name? Lord Kanglang said with disdain when he saw the nickname above Tong Wudi's head. Tong Wudi was not angry when he saw the other party coming up, but he also had a joking smile on his lips. The reason is simple, he has seen this kind of people before, but without exception, he was defeated by him in the end. Do you have any objections? Tong Wudi asked. Nonsense, how dare you claim to be the emperor? Be careful if you go out and suffer retribution. Lord Kanglang put his hands behind his back and said in a tone of lecturing the younger generation. He didn't know that the guy in front of him was a powerful figure in the immortal realm, and he was the core combat force of the immortal realm today. The other party really deserves the title of Invincible Emperor, and is recognized by the monks in the immortal world. Tong Wudi's eyes looked like he was looking at a fool. I don't blame you for being ignorant. Now that you can be my opponent, this is the most honorable moment in your life. Then, he began to replenish his troops and accumulate experience to upgrade. As long as he reaches the second level, it will be the beginning of his journey through the Supreme Canyon. Damn, you still dare to show off in front of me. Mr. Kanglang rolled up his sleeves angrily, eager to teach this arrogant man a lesson. On the road at this time, Luo Qingwu narrowed her eyes slightly, staring at the eye-catching words above the head of the woman who was on the line with her. Luo Wuchi is a cheap bitch. That's right, this is the nickname given by the other party. It can be seen that this person has a lot of resentment towards her. No, she is scolding Luo Wuchi, what does it have to do with me, Luo Qingwu? Thinking of this, Luo Qingwu reacted and suddenly lost her feeling for this extremely insulting nickname. And the other party was Bao Nishuang, who was humiliated in public by Luo Qingwu before. Bao Nishuang held a light rapier and wore exquisite armor, like a female swordsman of a kingdom. She saw the name above Luo Qingwu's head and looked at him with disdain. Shameless, you dare to call yourself the most beautiful woman in the immortal world. When Luo Qingwu heard this, she sneered, what does it have to do with you? And what kind of background are you? How dare you slander my goddess Luo? Goddess Luo. Bao Nishuang was stunned and almost suspected that she had heard it wrong. Are you talking about Luo Qingwu? That shameless scumbag. You are the one who is shameless. Goddess Luo is also someone you can slander. Luo Qingwu said angrily. Bao Nishuang was shocked. She never expected that she would meet Luo Qingwu's die-hard fans here. The most important thing is that the other party also called her a scumbag. This is unbearable. No matter how bad I am better than her. What kind of shitty goddess is she? Does she deserve it? Hearing this, Luo Qingwu sneered. What a joke. Everyone in the immortal world knows that she, Luo Qingwu, is unparalleled in talent and beauty. At a young age, she is the strongest immortal emperor, and can fight against the immortal lord. She is the dream lover of countless men, the role model of countless women, and the peerless genius destined to become the immortal emperor in the future. You can't even compare to a hair of hers. Such a woman who can shock the world and make ghosts cry, you dare to say that she is unworthy. Why don't you take a piss on the spot and look at yourself? When saying this, Luo Qingwu's face was not red, and her heart was not beating, as if she was stating an indisputable fact. You, Bao Nishuang was choked and blushed, her eyes were full of disbelief. She couldn't believe it. When did that female gangster have such a good reputation outside? Where did this brainless fan come from? Chapter 478. C479 Wait for the abuse. I'm going to kill you. Out of jealousy that Luo Qingwu had such a fan, Bao Nishuang became angry and charged straight away with a rapier in hand. The green sword light was very dazzling. Bitch! Luo Qingwu quickly ducked sideways and fired a series of vitality bombs with her hand. Boom boom boom, clashes began to break out between the two sides. The contest between two women begins. Other side. Kanglangjun and Tong Wudi, who had cleared their troops normally, both reached the second level almost at the same time. Kanglangjun is very excited, because this time his character has exploded, and he has chosen a rare and top-notch talent card. The characteristic is that spell damage is increased 20 times. This really impressed him, and it felt like he could see the sun from the clouds. Haha, I was on the bench in the previous rounds, but this round it's finally my turn to take the lead. I want to kill hard. This is the first person to be killed, so I'll take advantage of you, an ignorant kid. At the same time, Tong Woody also selected a talent card, but his card was a super grade 1, with the characteristic of increasing the power of all moves 200 times. This is the difference between top grade talent cards and super grade talent cards. The effect difference is not that big. The guy on the other side dares to come out and compete. Kang Langjun, who was confident, immediately called Ban Tong Woody, full of confidence. A playful smile appeared on Tong Woody's lips. Why don't you dare? Immediately, the two sides came out of the tower to fight. The sage says, kill. Lord Kanglang was wearing a Confucian shirt and holding a book of sages in his hand. As the pages of the book flipped, countless ancient words were released, which quickly gathered into a big word, kill, in the sky. Rumble. The word, kill, burst out with scarlet blood light, containing a terrifying sense of oppression, suppressing Tong Woody like a mountain. Kanglang Jun is confident that if this move hits directly, even the remaining health will be a miracle, basically being killed instantly. There was a strange color in Tong Woody's eyes. Such a strong power fluctuation was probably due to the blessing of the best talent card. No wonder the other side is so arrogant. It's a pity that he has a super talent card. King's Shield. Tong Woody's eyes were stern, his long black hair fluttering in the wind, and his whole body was covered with a golden shield. The golden shield was indestructible and had the special effect of being surrounded by two dragons, making him very powerful and domineering. Bang! The huge word, kill, hit the shield, like an egg hitting a stone, and was shaken to annihilation. On the other hand, the golden shield was undamaged and completely natural. After all, Tong Woody's super talent card can increase the power of all moves by 200 times, which means that defensive skills also have this effect, and it is easy to block attacks of this level. How is that possible? Mr. Kanglang was startled, his eyes almost bursting as he saw some unbelievable and terrifying scene. The 20-fold increase in spell damage can't even break through someone else's shield. What a fuss! Tong Woody joked. It's my turn. He gently raised his hand, and the sound of rolling millstones was heard in the void. A huge golden palm stretched out. Every detail of the palm was visible, and the palm prints were clear. Dragon Catcher. Oh, the huge golden palm pressed down in the air, like a mountain falling down, bringing a terrifying pressure. Not good. Mr. Kanglang's scalp exploded, and he felt like an ant in his heart, feeling insignificant and powerless in the face of the giant hand holding up the sky. Why is this happening? I am a man with the best talent card. Ah! As the golden palm smacked down heavily, a huge cloud of dust was stirred up with a roar, and the screams soon stopped abruptly. Congratulations to the invincible emperor for successfully killing the passing years. Close black lens bracket. The canyon's beep sounded. Tong Woody chuckled and said, now you should realize the gap between you and me. The most important thing is that this is just the beginning for him. As his levels increase later, his strength will rise to an incredible level. Absolutely unbeatable. Bao Nishuang, who was on the road, heard the notification sound, and the corner of her mouth curled up with a mocking smile. How pitiful, your teammate was killed at the beginning. Luo Qingwu disagreed and sneered. Do you think I care? Even if he gives away 10 heads, we will win. Bao Nishuang was startled and said disdainfully, you really dare to say that? That undefeated emperor is the trump card of our team. With him, you will definitely lose. Haha, I've never met anyone more powerful than him, Luo Qingwu said disdainfully, not taking it to heart at all. In her opinion, Yi Junlin is the team's anchor, and it is impossible to lose with him in charge. Just lie down and win. You will know later how stupid your words are. Bao Nishuang's eyes were even more sarcastic. In my heart, I can't wait to see the other person's face being slapped by reality. Just thinking about it makes me feel relieved. At this time, Lord Kanglang, who was resurrected at the altar, looked confused. Recalling the situation of being instantly killed by the opponent with one move, it still feels unreal to this day. Luo Qingwu, fellow Taoist Kanglang, what's going on over there? Is the undefeated emperor across from you very powerful? Out of curiosity, she asked anyway. Kanglang Jun said in shame, can you believe it? I selected a top talent card at the beginning, and he killed it instantly. Luo Qingwu, no, isn't it? Isn't the top talent card the highest? How could he be killed instantly with one move? You ask me who to ask. Kanglang Jun was so depressed that he almost vomited blood. I originally thought I could kill everyone, but I got first blood at the beginning, which was like a blow to the head and my confidence was hit hard. There is such a thing. At this moment, Yi Junlin, who was wandering in the enemy's wild area, suddenly froze on the spot. According to Kanglang Jun's description, the triolist named Undefeated Emperor is definitely equipped with a super talent card. Only in this way will the gap in strength be so huge. Interesting, after these rounds, I finally met a relatively strong opponent. Yi Junlin clicked his tongue in surprise, the long sword in his hand flashing with cold light. His level is also second level, and his talent card is exactly the same as Tong Wudi's, which increases the power of all moves by 200 times. Aha! Suddenly, there was a sharp sound of breaking wind coming from behind. It was a delicate and small flying knife, lingering with a strange purple light. Yi Junlin ducked out of the way in time, narrowed his eyes and looked, who? Not far away, a tall and transparent figure appeared, with long hair hanging around his waist, wearing a black mask that covered his lower face, and his eyes were as sharp as an eagle, full of hostility. How brave you are to invade my territory, Lin Feiyu said angrily. As a jungler, when someone invaded the jungle in the early stage, it felt like my home was broken into by robbers. I was shocked and angry. Especially the image of the other party was very eye-catching, which aroused the anger in his heart even more. I can come when I want and leave when I want. Do you care? Yi Junlin chuckled. Die! Lin Feiyu's eyes burst out with a fierce light, and he teleported to behind Yi Junlin, holding a dagger and stabbing him hard. When the clear sound of gold and iron clashing sounded, Yi Junlin, who had expected it, turned around and held a long sword in front of his eyes, blocking the blow impartially. You can't leave, because I have notified my teammates and they are coming to me. Lin Feiyu sneered. Then I'll kill you first, then kill them. Yi Junlin said. HMPH, you are so brazen. Lin Feiyu jumped back vigorously and threw a flying knife again, but Yi Junlin blocked it with his sword. Fellow Taoist Lin, we are here. At this time, two figures, one tall and one short, rushed out of the nearby bushes. 3 against 1, you are dead now. Lin Feiyu said with a cruel smile. Yi Junlin, who was being pressed by the 3 men step by step, showed a playful smile. The reinforcements are quite timely, and it's not in vain for me to wait until now. What's the meaning? Lin Feiyu and the others were stunned and confused. I will take your lives. Yi Junlin swung his sword and slashed out a sword energy. The white sword energy rolled like waves. Lin Feiyu was the first to bear the brunt. He was very sensitive and tried to dodge, but he was just wiped away, as if he had received a critical hit, and the health bar above his head was instantly cleared. Lin Feiyu had an expression of disbelief on his face before disappearing. He did not expect to receive the lunchbox so soon. Dare the lover just let him go on purpose, just to lure his teammates to come and die. Fellow Taoist Lin, the other 2 teammates exclaimed. And you guys? Yi Junlin performed sword dance phantom, moving as fast as a ghost, leaving behind a series of afterimages. Swish swish swish, the 2 of them were surrounded by a group of phantoms, and they felt like they had no idea where to start. PFFT. Blood spurted out, and the 2 corpses fell to the ground. Hundreds of phantoms disappeared, leaving only a young man holding a sword, the blade of which was dripping with blood. Congratulations to Invincible and Lonely for completing 3 kills. Close black lens bracket. The canyon chime sounds. What's going on with you guys? You're still losing 3 against 1. Bao Nishuang, who had just swallowed the elixir to heal her wounds, asked after returning to the tower. Her face suddenly turned ugly. Immortal, that one called Invincible and so lonely is too strong, we can't beat him at all. Lin Feiyu and the others complained on the altar. Bao Nishuang narrowed her eyes slightly, and then realized that this person was the strength of the opposing team. You're stupid, this is our strongest trump card. Luo Qingwu said sullenly. Don't be so proud, I'll let the Invincible Emperor take care of him. Immediately, Bao Nishuang sent a message remotely. Invincible Emperor, please go and kill that guy now. Kill the spirit on the other side. Haha, that's what I meant. Tong Wudi, who had reached the 4th level in the middle, looked at a certain place with a look of interest. According to the information revealed by his teammates, the triolist named Wudi How Lonely seems to be very powerful. In this case, it was worth his while to go there in person. Tong Wudi threw down his sleeves and turned to leave, leaving behind only the ruins of the tower-like statue and a body that was about to disappear. That's right, Lord Kanglang was killed again just now. Poor Kanglangjun, who had the best talent card, was killed twice in the middle, and even the tower was blown up. Facing a monster like Tong Wudi, he had no room for resistance. After Bao Nishuang learned that Tong Wudi had left, a stone hanging in her heart fell to the ground. After the previous rounds of competition, she had absolute confidence in this mysterious trialist. Because he is really strong, he is invincible in all the canyons. That invincible one of yours is so lonely, just waiting to be abused. Bao Nishhuang said excitedly to Luo Qingwu. Chapter 479. C480 Business Mutual Praise. After scoring 3 kills, Yi Junlin continued to wander around the wild area, harvesting the lives of vicious beasts along the way. His level also quickly rose from the 2nd level to the 4th level, and he was equipped with 2 more super-grade talent cards. Fellow Taoist Yi, that guy named the Invincible Emperor seems to have gone to your place to find you. Suddenly, Luo Qingwu sent a message. Haha, can't wait to compete with me. Yi Junlin stood on the river with his sword in hand. Although the river was extremely fast, he stood steadily on the water, as if he would soar into the sky in the next second. Suddenly, a powerful aura is approaching quickly. There was a tall, handsome man wearing an imperial crown and a jet-black dragon robe, walking across the river with his hands behind his back and a look of disdain in his eyes. Came to the opposite side of Yi Junlin. The two looked at each other from a distance. Wudi is so lonely, that name is so cool. Tong Wudi saw Yi Junlin's strange appearance. He was stunned for a moment, a strange meaning flashed in his eyes, and then he coughed a few times. Yours is not bad, it's quite impressive. Yi Junlin's eyes fell on the line of fonts above the other person's head, and they boasted to each other. But one thing is, I am true, and you, Tong Wudi paused and chuckled, it's false. Yi Junlin frowned, you mean, I'm not worthy? That's right. With that said, Tong Wudi took a step forward, released the king's oppressive feeling, and said word by word. You don't deserve it. At this time, in the outside world, the monks who were watching in large numbers were all extremely excited by this scene. Holy shit, shit, shit. Invincible brother is facing off against the invincible emperor. Oh my god, this is the picture I've been waiting for. Tell me, who will win? It must be brother invincible, he has never lost in a duel. The same goes for the invincible emperor. I think it's quite suspenseful. The place was noisy and the noise was extremely lively. There was even a strong man with a flexible mind who opened a gambling market, attracting many monks to place bets. Brother invincible, please be sure to win. I have spent most of my life on my wealth. A man knelt down and prayed. Hey, I'm betting on the undefeated emperor. If he can win, I'll make a profit this time. Another person said. In short, because of this epic battle, the emotions of countless monks were aroused. The cheers and cheers came one after another. Within the river, 2 figures faced each other from a distance, and the air was filled with a sense of solemnity and solemnity. Yi Junlin sneered. Whether he is worthy or not, you have to fight to know. In the past, he was the only one who could show off, but now there is a guy who can show off better than him. How can I bear this? In an instant, Yi Junlin took the lead and swung his sword to create a terrifying sword energy that rode the wind in waves. With a crash, the wide river separated along both sides. King's shield. Tong Wudi's eyes flashed, and his whole body was covered in a golden shield, surrounded by double dragon special effects, gorgeous and majestic. Boom boom boom. The golden shield shook violent energy ripples, the entire shield was vibrating visible to the naked eye, and some tiny cracks began to appear. Feeling the power of this power, Tong Wudi's eyes flashed with surprise. I really underestimate you. In view of Yi Junlin's strength, he decided to fight quickly. Golden sword formation. Tong Wudi formed a seal with his hands and shouted in a low voice. Buzz. Yi Junlin noticed that the surroundings were shrouded in a mysterious formation, and countless golden sword energy formed above his head, falling like a downpour. Swish swish swish. At this moment, Yi Junlin really felt a sense of urgency. Because if he was hit by a golden sword energy, there was a 90% chance that he would die on the spot. In desperation, he used Phantom Sword Dance, relying on the speed brought by this skill to quickly dodge the falling golden sword energy. Fortunately, the golden sword formation cannot limit the range. As long as he leaves the sword formation, he can avoid the rain of swords in the sky. The river was riddled with holes and water splashed everywhere. Yi Junlin rushed out dangerously, the coldness in his eyes almost freezing to the bone. Can you avoid this? Tong Wudi was a little surprised. He originally thought that he could rely on this move to kill Yi Junlin instantly, but he didn't know that the other party could bravely rush out. Sword Chi Domain. The next second, Yi Junlin saw the right moment and used the character's third skill. Suddenly, Tong Wudi's hair stood on end, and he realized that he was in a field. Stab. An extremely heart-wrenching voice sounded. Countless white sword energies surrounded Tong Wudi as quickly as swimming fish, frantically cutting through the golden shield around Tong Wudi. The golden shield, which was already cracked, became overwhelmed at this moment and was on the verge of breaking. Not good. In desperation, Tong Wudi wanted to leave the sword energy realm, but was strongly blocked by Yi Junlin. The sword opens the heavenly gate. Yi Junlin seized the opportunity and activated his ultimate move. A sword light that was as bright as a hanging star appeared, with a terrifying and immortal aura, and landed on Tong Wudi's body. In Tong Wudi's incredible eyes, the golden shield was instantly shattered, and the overwhelming colorful sword light pressed towards him. Boom boom boom. The river trembled like an earthquake, and the surging river hung upside down for 9 days, forming a rare spectacle in the Supreme Canyon. In the broken pit, a mutilated corpse was lifeless and completely dead. Yi Junlin stood on the edge of the pit, holding a sword. It's over. He had to admit that Tong Wudi showed great strength, but he was even stronger. Brother Invincible really won. Seeing this scene, the crowd was instantly in an uproar. Haha, I'm getting rich. I'm getting rich. Many monks who had bet on Yi Junlin were ecstatic when they saw this scene. I've lost a lot. Those who supported Tong Wudi cried out in despair. However, at this moment, many sharp-eyed experts saw a clue and exclaimed, "Look, what is that?" The whole place was silent. Everyone looked nervously again. Now, Yi Junlin was about to turn around and leave, but suddenly felt something was wrong. The notification sound after the opponent was killed did not sound. This means that the other party is not actually dead yet. Could it be? Yi Junlin realized something and suddenly looked into the pit, his pupils suddenly shrank into needles. I saw the broken corpse, shrouded in a milky white light, the severed limbs regenerated, the injuries recovered quickly, and soon a man with a powerful posture slowly floated into the air, with a playful smile on his lips. It is Tong Wudi after his resurrection. Like Yi Junlin before, he also obtained a super-grade talent card with resurrection characteristics. Tong Wudi, who was resurrected with full blood, his long hair flying in the wind, looked down at Yi Junlin with condescending eyes, and sneered. I didn't expect that you could really force me into such an embarrassing situation. I, the Invincible Emperor, am willing to call you my strongest opponent. Hear the words. Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. I really feel honored. Really? Tong Wudi's eyes lit up. Fake. Well. Chapter 480. C481 Wudi is really invincible. Tong Wudi felt a little embarrassed. No, what do you mean? You made me happy for nothing. You know, from the moment you resurrected yourself, you were doomed to fail. Tong Wudi's aura rose steadily, and a confident smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Haha, is that so? Yi Junlin pointed with a long sword in his hand and sneered. Don't pretend, the active moves of each character here have a certain interval, and you just used the strongest move to defeat me. How can you withstand my next attack now? As he spoke, Tong Wudi's robe fluttered, his eyes were as bright as a god, and he spread his arms, and a ripple of energy rippled all over his body. Behind him, tens of thousands of golden swords condensed out of thin air, and the trembling sound was endless. Emperor Yu Wanjian, the majestic voice echoed in all directions. This is the ultimate move of Emperor Qi among the characters selected by Tong Wudi. In his opinion, Yi Junlin, who lost his strongest move, was like a tiger with its teeth pulled out, and his threat was greatly reduced. As long as he used the Emperor's 10,000 swords, it would be easy to kill this man. Not only Tong Wudi, but all the cultivators in the outside world had this idea. This time, Brother Wudi is going to lose. Yes, Brother Wudi played all his cards to kill the unbeaten Emperor, but the unbeaten Emperor not only did not die, but also had the strongest trump card in his hand. I think the outcome is obvious. Ha ha ha, if the unbeaten Emperor wins, then I will make a fortune. Woo woo, I lost a lot. The public opinion at the scene was instantly one-sided, and basically felt sorry for Yi Junlin's tragic defeat. Who would have thought that the reversal would come so quickly? Now it is clear who is stronger and who is weaker. On the river, Tong Wudi carried the power of 10,000 swords, and the sword tips were all aimed at Yi Junlin. The vast sword intent filled the void, and the murderous aura was boiling. Die! A powerful and cold shout. Thousands of golden swords shot out at the same time, sweeping towards the target like a hurricane. At this moment, if it were someone else, they would have panicked, or simply closed their eyes and waited for death in despair. But Yi Junlin didn't, because he still had a trump card in his hand, which was enough to turn the tide of the battle. Refresh the skill cooldown for me. A gleam of light flashed in Yi Junlin's eyes, and all the moves of the invisible character were refreshed at this moment. Among them, Shen Jiangxin's big move was also included. This is the feature of the second super talent card, which can refresh the cooldown of the skill once, with an interval of 10 minutes. Yi Junlin originally thought that this move would not need to be triggered throughout the game, but it would be used so soon. It's really timely. Rain. Sword opens the gate of heaven. Yi Junlin used his strongest move again. Boom boom boom. A dazzling sword light was like a galaxy hanging, and it collided violently with thousands of golden swords, and both sides burst out with a terrifying energy aura. What? Tong Wudi's eyes flashed with astonishment. He had never expected that Yi Junlin would hold back at the critical moment. This way, his advantage was gone. Bang! Soon, the huge sword light and the thousands of sharp swords were destroyed at the same time, and both of them were shocked by the residual force and retreated again and again. Tong Wudi seized the opportunity and quickly used the dragon capture hand, wanting to kill the other party in one go. Swish! A huge golden palm stretched out from the void, like the hand of a god, revealing a terrible sense of oppression. Then, it slapped Yi Junlin fiercely. The sword tip breaks the dawn. Yi Junlin swung his sword without hesitation, and a white sword energy like a waterfall. Boom! It cancelled each other out again. It's time to really end this battle. Yi Junlin's eyes were cold, and he used the sword energy field to cover Tong Wudi. Not good. Tong Wudi felt cold all over. He was in the terrifying sword energy field. There was no chance for him to survive. Swish, 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 dense white sword energy suddenly surrounded him. The man in the black dragon robe and the emperor's crown was pierced all over his body, and blood splattered. Ah! Tong Wudi's eyes were full of unwillingness, and his body gradually turned into light spots and dissipated. This time, he was completely dead. After all, it was a chess game that was one step away. Tisk tisk, what a hearty contest. Yi Junlin stood with a sword, feeling secretly happy. This feeling of a Jedi counterattack is really interesting. Seeing this scene, everyone almost dropped their jaws in shock, and the expressions on their faces were very exciting. It was really a reversal after reversal. I thought Tong Wudi would have an absolute advantage after being resurrected with full blood, but who would have thought that he would still die under Yi Junlin's sword? It was very unexpected. Brother Wudi, awesome! Seeing this, countless cultivators shouted excitedly. These few words best express their feelings. The invincible emperor was defeated after all. Brother Wudi is truly invincible. Sure enough, Brother Wudi is stronger than the invincible emperor. Many strong men were discussing excitedly, as if they had witnessed a visual feast. As for the group of people who bet on Tong Wudi, they felt like the sky had fallen down at this moment, and they felt particularly uncomfortable. Why is this happening? They really couldn't figure it out. There was a reversal in this, it was too fucking psychological. Congratulations to Wudi How Lonely for successfully killing the invincible emperor. Closing square bracket. The canyon prompt sounded. After hearing this report, both camps instantly exploded. Haha, let's see if that kid still dares to be so arrogant. Senior Yi is teaching him how to be a good person every minute. Lord Kanglang said happily, feeling very happy in his heart. He was brutally beaten by Tong Wudi in the middle, and he could be said to be extremely depressed. Now that he heard that his opponent was killed by Yi Junlin, he suddenly became enlightened, and his smile was brighter than a chrysanthemum. How is it possible? The invincible emperor actually lost. Bao Nishuang, who was facing the lane on the road, was shocked and felt incredible. This was the first time I heard the news that Tong Wudi had been killed. In her opinion, Tong Wudi had absolutely no chance of losing, and it was so lonely to be able to defeat the Wudi opposite him 100% of the time. In the end, he lost. When she learned that Tong Wudi had been defeated, Luo Qingwu secretly breathed a sigh of relief, a gloating smile appeared on her face, and she mocked. Are you surprised? Anyway, I had expected it a long time ago. Your undefeated emperor is so stupid. At first, seeing Bao Nishuang swear so confidently, she was a bit intimidated. Fortunately, Yi Junlin's strong performance gave her more confidence. Seeing the other party showing off his power, Bao Nishuang was so angry that her delicate body was shaking, her cheeks were burning, and she felt as if she had been slapped in the face. In shame and anger, she had no choice but to question Tong Wudi secretly. Invincible Emperor, what did you do? Do you know that we all trust you? You really let us down. Yeah, so disappointed. Several other teammates echoed. Tong Wudi, who was sitting on the altar, was in a daze, obviously not getting over the shadow of failure. My mind is filled with the frozen scene at the end. I saw the shamat young man holding a long sword, looking at him with a victor's attitude, his aura leading the way, and the few eye-catching characters above his head had explained everything invisibly. None. Enemy. Good. Lonely. Lonely.